Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, everybody. Joey and Nate here one more time. Downtown at the Dog Pound. While we're still here, we're going to be moving for too long. We got another little old building right down the road. And I don't think we're going to change the intro, though. We'll still be downtown at the Dog Pound. Because it's only
the Dog Pound is us. We're the dogs.
Yeah, we're the dogs. So I got another guest with us tonight. Got one of them Georgia boys out here. I met him pretty good while back. And he is a wealth of knowledge, for real, on all kinds of shit, from like how to take care of dogs on a budget. That's the biggest thing that I've seen. Like, he can manage these dogs, not just that, training methods, trapping, thermals, guiding hunts, and he does all this thing. Now he's retired now, so now he's got time to do all this big wondrous life. But he's a generational hunter, and he's been around so long. Like, he was probably there before Quick Track. He was using smoke signals when they was tracking dogs, way back in yonder ways, back in them old days. So without further ado, my guest tonight is Mr. Nathan Brooks. So what's up, Nathan?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing good, my man.
Doing good.
How you like how I was talking about how old you are?
Well, I'll say this: I'll be 52 in a month. So
you still kicking around good.
not like I was when I was in my 30s, but I can still get by.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So,
but now back to where you said, yeah, but never Quick Track.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we were the Quick Track back then. We could have. We used to have to track dogs tracking sandy roads, and you'd stop every couple of 100 yards and have to listen to see what you could find out.
That's right.
Move around until you found tracks on the roads just to look for a dog.
Yeah.
But
ain't no doubt.
luckily now, back then you had smarter dogs because you had homers. If they didn't make it back home, they didn't get to breed.
Yep.
So
that's
yeah.
Things have changed a lot, ain't they, buddy?
Oh yes, with the Garmins. Oh man, Garmins have made a bunch of people look a lot smarter than what they are.
Oh hell yeah. They help me every day look like that.
Well, I can't really operate a thing. I know Nate's rode with me before. I'm one of them people that I'll hand you my Garmin and tell you to call the numbers.
There you go.
But new people get in there with me. I tell them to call the numbers. Like, what the hell are you talking about? If I'm getting closer, the numbers are going down. If it's getting farther away, it go that way.
That's it.
The other ways, I can't work it.
There you go.
That's about the best way.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It cuts a bunch of bullshit out because you get on there and get to studying too hard sometimes. And I've done it. Get going one side and be like, no, man, I see a little road over here, or I think we can cross here and get closer, and then turn around, go that way. And then, well, no, should have just went the other way. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you get as close as you can and you parallel or you straight to them,
that's it.
Path of least, I can say it's the path of least resistance, but at least you know you're at the closest spot.
That's right. There you go. So, well, introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them who you are, where you're from, and all that good stuff. And make sure that you don't do anything to incriminate yourself on here. We don't want the police looking for you.
Yeah, I definitely don't want any run-ins with any police.
All right, so, tear it up.
But yeah, man. So, like I said, I was born in down here in Blackshear, Georgia. And like you said, generational. My father was a very good houndsman himself. Growing up, we always had, I'd say, what we called meat dogs, man. We had the hounds, we had cur dogs. He'd always keep a catch dog around. We run beagles. We run, shoot, if it could fly or crawl or run, we had a dog for it. And so growing up, like I said, that's pretty much what we did, run dogs all the time. And so doing that, being around that, man, I was in the woods before I ever went to kindergarten with him. He actually had y'all familiar with the turpentine?
Yes, I am.
Nate should be with the forestry and stuff, like the old
Yes.
turpentine where you scrape the trees and dip the tar and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
So he actually had a turpentine business also, and leased a lot of land out here on the side of the Okefenokee Swamp. And I would I'd be in the truck with him, like I said, before I was in kindergarten, and then that night we'd be going coon hunting or something. So we spent a lot of time together in the woods running dogs. I guess that's where you say I got the love to run the dogs from him, and doing it all my life with him. So I said we're both members of the Pierce County Fox Hunting Club and the Georgia Hunting and Fishing Federation. He's actually one of the charter members whenever it first started. One of the charter members of it. And probably one of the few that's still alive. Really, he'll be 80. He's 84 now.
Wow.
So
That's
he's
pretty
still
cool.
kicking around pretty good. But like I said, having been around him, like I said, very good houndsman, and a couple of more real good dog men. You're probably familiar with Ronald Bowles, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Ronald, of course, he's very famous for his own line of bulldogs, game dogs, which is the Dirty Mary dogs, and let's see, Dirty Mary, Bold Action, Reno, Mr. Rogers, and all them. He's a real good friend of mine, and he's another guy who lives about 10 minutes from here. You've met him before. He's one of the students at the game that he had the Boudreaux dogs for about 40 years.
Yep.
And so, like I said, being around some very, very, very good dog men, pick their brain, always listen to them, and they're not going to tell you straight up, but if you listen between the lines, you get a better idea of what you're looking for and what you're doing.
I agree. And these young guys now, they have no idea how good they have it when they got guys like me and you, Pat Lewing, Ed Barnes, Jake Locano. I can go on and on and on. When you got guys like that just tell you straightforward what it is. Them old men they ain't going to, hell no. They weren't just going to give you nothing or just tell you nothing for free.
I'll tell you, it was crazy. I was in my early 20s, and same thing how y'all have a feed store now. You know how Monday morning is, everybody meets up at the feed store. You got to give the catch report. How'd y'all do this weekend? We caught this, we caught that, we treed this, we treed that. So I was up there one day sitting there talking about hog dogs, and we caught this and a bulldog, and he was sitting there. I mean, I've always just known him as Ronald. I didn't ever know nothing about his dogs or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were sitting there talking about a bulldog or something. He's like, get on the computer, and he wrote a name down on the notepad. He said, look up this dog. He said, if you got access to a computer, now back then when we still had dial-up type internet.
Oh yeah.
Come home, sat there and got on the dial-up, looked it up, and seen what it is. It was the Dirty Mary dog. And didn't know that he was actually the one that had Dirty Mary and bred them up, and all his Bowles dogs and stuff. So started going up there, picking his brain, and just like you said, talk to him. It probably took a year and a half of going up there, hanging out with him, talking to him about the different types of dogs and styles, and just different things to do with them. And finally got an invite. You want to come out this afternoon and come look at the dog yard?
Yeah.
So go out there. It got to where we're going out there every weekend, check chain swivels, axles, worm them, feed them, help him do any kind of breeding, do anything we needed to do. And so while you're out there, of course, you get to where you figure out what you like in the dog. And so, done that for about a year to year and a half before he'd even sell us one or sell me a dog off his yard. Started started building a dog yard pretty good off of that stuff.
Nice.
Was successful with them for years like that. But that's just one of them people that I met. That's a real good dog guy. So
Yeah, he really staked his claim in the game dog world. There's
yeah,
no doubt. He's one of the big names.
yeah, running a bunch of Bolio
Hold on just a
Bolio
second.
Eli type cross dogs. Yeah.
Hold on just a second, Nathan. This train, he never gets the same time. This son of a bitch changes times every other day. It takes
Yeah,
just a minute.
y'all have trains, man. We have trains bad down here.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's one that comes through about 5, and he'll usually toot the horn about 2 times and move on. And this son of a bitch right there, he'll do that for 10 minutes. Like I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, if he gets paid by the honk or what.
I hear you.
But anyway, okay. Now back on to the dogs.
So, like I said, had the Bulldogs, had a real good run with them, and got to where a situation. You know how it is whenever when the whole deal went down with the Bulldogs, game dogs, a couple of football players might have gotten in trouble, and things started getting crazy.
Yep.
So that's whenever I decided I didn't need them kind of dogs anymore, not to be breeding them or anything. So I got rid of them and got right back into my hog dogs and was running good dogs, catching a lot of hogs, and so that's what we've been doing. And so
you
got back into hog hunting again, and shoot, here I am.
Still hanging in there. Now you got into the Jags, Yog Terriers for.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know you still got some as well, but I mean, it's kind of the same thing like with us. You know, we just don't hunt them as much as we used to, so I don't have as many.
Right. So I had my first Jag. My very first Jag actually come from Dixieland, which was Scott Alls back then.
Yep, Mr. Scott.
And I had a male. We done real good with him in the bait pens and stuff back then. If you remember, let's see, 25 years ago, whenever you was in a bait pen, a Jag Terrier had to run against every cur dog, had the hounds and everything else. There was no such thing as a terrier class or this class or that class.
Exactly.
It was wide open. And so back then in Georgia, we probably had, I don't know, 10, maybe 7 to 10 bait pens running most of the time. So every other weekend, you could find a place to go. And they had one right here in Waycross at Waresburg. I used to go out there with him pretty regular. And if he didn't catch out, he could usually get you in the money sometimes. But biggest thing is catching out. And after a while, you know how they are. Once they start catching, it gets worse. I had him over at in Ludowici at Cliff Ray's bait pen. I don't know if you're familiar with Cliff. He used to have the Brutus dog that you see in a lot of the Catahoula pedigrees.
Yeah.
And he had a pen over there, and the little dog ended up getting mashed between a boar hog and the side of the pen, and he didn't make it after that. Then I picked up another older female out of South Carolina, and I actually run her on bear and everything else. I've had her run and treat her on bear before. Yeah. And that's the little Hannah female that I carried up there and bred to the Stonewall Jackson that Richard's got.
Yeah.
And which I think you've actually got some of your stuff goes back to Stonewall.
I had his brother.
Jackson,
I had his brother.
You did?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I had him for a pretty good while.
Old
Smith.
Droopy Lip Smith.
Well, Smith, he was
I love that.
bad son of a bitch, boy.
There were some big dogs.
He was 41 pounds and 19 inches tall. Right at 19, 18, 5'8", somewhere like that.
I really like that.
Smooth coat.
Them were some solid dogs there. Like I said,
they didn't need no help at all.
Oh no,
like
they were solid.
And like he was kind of like you're talking about with the bay pen stuff, but in the woods he was like that. A big hog, he would bay it. He'd give you enough time to get there, if you were within reason. But if you didn't if he had to bay it for 20 or 30 minutes, he's probably going to go ahead and grab it.
Yeah, he's gonna hang it.
Yeah, so but for the most part, he done a really fine job. It always surprised me how good their noses are, and it still blows my mind even today. Some of the dogs we have, those little dogs, and how good their noses are.
Well, like I said, I mean that's what they're bred for over in Germany. That they use them noses where we here in the U.S. typically breed them to be bigger. Everything's bigger in the U.S.
They try to be.
So that's the way they try to do it.
Yep.
But yeah, they all had good noses. The dogs that I raised off of the Jack dog that Richard had, they made solid dogs. And so I know he was Richard got where he was running him a lot, but his buddy that had the Campbell curs in him.
Yeah, I think so. He was running curs, and we need some dogos.
Yeah. They was running them Campbell curs. Ronnie Sheehan, who it was.
Yeah, Ronnie.
They was running the Campbell curs and stuff that come from Gary and them over there.
Yeah.
Bunch of rough running catch dogs, what they was running.
Yep. That's right. I talked to Mr. Richard. I don't know. It's been a little while ago. He sent me some handhelds to work on.
Oh yeah.
He's
got some beautiful black mouse over there right now.
Yeah, he does. Man, he got some pretty dogs.
I think there's some Ladner bred that he's running with now. He's actually who I got my very first Kimmer from, was Richard.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I went up there and bred to the Jackson dog, Stonewall, and when I picked my female back up, he had that Kimmer female there. She was a little spade yellow color female or butter color female, whatever you want to call them. And he gave me her, and shoot, I made a fine hog dog out of her, or she made one out of me. I don't know what you want to call it. They give her the opportunity, and she would roll. She'd bark probably every 150 yards, just enough to keep up with her, but super fast, real loose baying. She wasn't rough at all. We caught a lot of hogs with that little dog.
Yeah, we've got that's what we've been messing with here lately. Good bit of Kimmers, and we've had good luck with them so far.
Now Nate's Louis dog, isn't he a Kimmer?
Yep, he's full blood Kimmer.
That's what I was thinking. Now is he
so buttermilk?
I got you.
Yeah, white dogs.
Yeah.
Yes, no white dogs. You got to call them buttermilk. Yeah, boy, they get sideways and crazy.
Yeah, they don't like that shit.
Some bitch looks pretty white to me.
That's what I said. I said, well, why is he butter? They're like, well, he's buttermilk. I said, he looks white. Like, he's white. And they're like, no, he's buttermilk. It's like, okay, well, shit, he's buttermilk then. Whatever. I don't give a damn.
What kind of dew claws does he have?
He's just got singles on the back.
Yeah,
he ain't got doubles or triples or nothing like that?
I think, and I'm pretty sure he's only got singles on both legs on the back, if I remember correctly.
And I don't think have we ever had any issues with dew claws?
Never.
Ever?
Not one time. But his brother, that little brindle dog that Jared had, well, I had him, and then Stumpy or Stubby, I can't remember his name now, is Louie's brother. Half that litter was brindle and half of them were buttermilk.
Yeah.
And that one had triple on his left, double on his right, on the back. So, and I didn't pay attention to any of the rest of them. I think I had 3. Jared had 2 or 3, didn't he? We wound up getting the whole litter. I don't remember.
Yeah. And that's just something I noticed on the Kimmers, a lot of them, and some of the old style bred mountain curs.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them will be like I said, have the double and triple dew claws. Not that it makes any difference. It's just something that if they ever tear them, you got to doctor them.
I've never had any issues with them, but that don't mean I won't have an issue with them tomorrow.
Only issue I've ever had with dew claws is like that's just a fingernail that they don't keep rubbed down, so you every now and then they'll start curling under, and you got to keep them clipped. But other than that, they're really not a big problem.
I got you. I think running them in these mountains and these hills and bluffs and all that, I think that helps keep them beat down.
Yeah. No, y'all's how hard is y'all's ground up there?
Rock,
yeah, hard stuff.
Yeah, hard. I mean, like, it's rock. Like we don't have I don't know of any dirt road at all where we live.
Oh, really?
I mean, you would have to get down there where we were hunting the other day, and that's a 2-hour drive to get to anything that's dirt. Now there's a couple of old, used to be gravel road, church rock roads, but they're hard. They get packed down and they're just like asphalt.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have anything like that. So that's why when people talk about road hunting a dog or a dog's pads, I'm not used to dealing with any of that, and I don't pay any attention because that's just part of our daily routine.
They're built for it.
Yeah, that's what they grow up on. They grow up on the ground that they grow up on is small rock, and so everything is hard. So I guess that just constantly toughens their pads their whole life, you know.
Well, part of that goes back. I mean, if it's dogs that's bred right there.
Yep.
I mean, you breed what works for you, and obviously they've got to have tough feet to be able to run up there.
Oh yeah.
See, like around here, most of ours is, of course, depending on where you're at, you may basically sand, mud, or straight over there in the briar patches and around the gallberries and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It depends on.
Whose pad was tore or was raw the other day when we was down at Logan Campbell's? Was it Sally's? Yeah, I think Sally had a spot on one of her pads, but it wasn't bad. But
it was like in between her pads.
Yeah, it was in between her pad. Like almost like she had stepped on something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't blown out. And we were at Logan Campbell's hunting, and I think almost Friday, almost every dog there had blown pads that was Logan's dogs.
Yeah.
And I mean the ground that he was running in, it was just dried up, gumbo mud, just clay, hard.
Yeah. Now, do y'all ever ever use that feet type products or any?
No. That's what I'm saying. And I've never had to deal with it, so we didn't pay any attention to it. And then we noticed Sally was favored her 1 foot just a little bit, and I picked it up and looked, and that's the first time we had ever seen that. None of the other dogs had that, but Logan's dogs, he's got a houndy cur style dog, and they, they're going to run long races, and I mean, they're running hard, running fast.
Yeah, they got a lot of bottom.
Yeah, they get with it, and so I mean that's got a lot to do with it as well. I mean, our dogs they'll get out there and they'll go for miles. But they don't run the same way. So yes. I don't know if that's got something to do with it or not.
I know.
Sure it does.
I remember years ago the old fox pen, the old fox hunters and all that stuff that was doing the 3-day derbies and all that, doing the fox dogs. A lot of them guys used to take PVC glue, put on their dog's feet.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And actually, almost like putting extra layers of skin on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember years ago seeing people that used to do that at the fox pens.
I've never.
Like I said, that's just something that the old people used to do it.
I got you. Well, I want to talk about something on here that I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy the history of it, and I don't think that it should be avoided. But like you were talking about being in the game dogs and stuff like that. And you sent me some notes and stuff like that, and we do this back and forth, so that way we kind of got something to talk about.
Yeah. And
we were talking about, or you were talking about people using the word game bred all the time, and I agree with you 1,000%. Oh, that's a game dog. How do you know it's game?
Yep.
You don't even know if it's game or not. It's game bred. It's out of game stock.
Yes.
Or out of game lineage.
Yes.
Unless you tested that dog, you don't know. But anyway, elaborate on that and kind of.
I got you. I'll give you one.
Yeah, go with what you were talking about right here. Talk about American Pit Bull Terriers for a minute.
Okay. I'll tell you my take on it. I know what a game dog is, what they're bred for. A game dog is bred to be put in a 16x16 and to inflict punishment until he can't take it anymore or the other one can't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. To swap it out, scratch it out. until one can't stand the pressure.
Yep.
But people use the word game dog way more than what they should, because like you said, you really don't know how game they are. You can say, well, he'll do this, he'll do that, he'll die hung on a hog. Yeah, he may, but there is a difference between a catch dog and a game dog. Just because he's game enough to catch, that does not mean that that's a game dog. I'll tell you, I've seen pointer bird dogs, as long as they can stay on top, they are some bad suckers.
Yes.
Now, once they get on the bottom, it's a different thing. They'll ball up and cur out. But yeah, people just use the word game way more than probably what they should. They use the word pit bull. I own a walk-in catch dog out there, then I'm sure he probably has some very good dogs in his background. But to use the word pit, I don't. People want to, when they first see him, that a pit? No, it's a bulldog.
Bulldog.
It's a catch dog.
Bulldog.
And he's a solid anchor. I mean, shoot, I used him yesterday to pull one out of pull a good boar hog out of a net trap. Put him over the top, let him hang it. I know he's hung. He's an anchor. He serves the purpose for me. I don't really like a real hot dog. One of them screamers that's whenever you're in there trying to listen to a bay and this sucker's up here screaming on top of the box or anything like that. I don't really care for them kind of dogs. I like a catch dog to catch. I don't want him shaking the ear. I don't want him trying to fight the hog. I just want him to catch and then use his body weight to hold the hog. All about good leverage.
Well, that's why true, real gamey, like a fighting style dog, is not going to be a catch dog because it's trying to fight instead of just catch.
Correct. They're gonna rip your ears off. They're gonna do. Mm-hmm. That's all about the offense. So, like I said, they're going to be shaking, ripping the ears. If you're not careful, they're going to go to front legs, and they may hit in the back end, and that's not really what you want to be a dependable catch dog.
No.
Catch dog, like I said, you want him to go in there, catch on the side of the head, on the ear, jaw, wherever he catches up there on the side of the head so he can maintain it. And use his body leverage for leverage. He lay down right beside him. I've had a bunch of them that almost like it seemed like they picked a lot, put a tree in between them and the hog. It's tree and the hog right there with them. Like it just has a different style to me as opposed to what people call a game dog. Different strokes, different folks for what they want to. People want to define as a game dog, and what I know is a game dog is two different things, really.
Yes. And that's why I was, saying that, because there's a lot of people that they want to know the history and what the uses were for, the game dogs and how matches were. And, they want to know all these things because, it's not available to them unless we keep the history alive. And so there's a lot of them, they get misconstrued because they were told from somebody else that doesn't really know.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I'll tell you, when you meet somebody and they try to tell you they got a Jeep bred dog, Jeep's been dead since the 80s.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, I know.
But you hear it.
I hear it all the time. He's off Jeep. He's off Red Boy.
Yeah.
I like the one where it said he's off of that Jocko Yellow John Red Boy dog. So which dog?
Yes. So
and that's like that Jocko Yellow John. Which one?
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
And like I said, they're talking about dogs that have been dead since 80s, early 90s.
Early 90s, yes.
And probably, I mean, I know you've talked about it the other day in the breakdowns. You got to remember your first generation, you're 50%,
Yep.
25%, 12.5%, 6.25. And
Ain't
it
but
don't
four
take
quarters.
long, but it don't take you do what?
I said, ain't but 4 quarters, is it?
You right.
That's 4 quarters. And I mean, then you gone. I mean, that's why that line breeding is important.
Oh yes, yes. So we used to when we was with the Bulldogs for the most part, I would say a large portion of our breedings would be either a half brother, half sister. They're gonna have either the same daddy or the same mama,
Mm-hmm.
and do them that way. And then you would go back out with like a niece or a nephew, and so basically we try to keep them 3/4 of the same family line,
Yes,
and then maybe a quarter out.
Yep.
And just to make sure that keeps you from getting smaller dogs or just some of them inherited traits that you don't want to be amplified. Because every time you breed into each other, doing your inbreeding or everything, any good stuff can be amplified, but your bad stuff's amplified too.
Yes.
And you might find something in the wood pile that you didn't know was there
yeah,
too.
new stuff will pop up too.
Oh yeah. Whether if it's health issues, could be something as simple as a skin issue, skin allergies and stuff like that didn't happen as a first cross or the second cross, but when you start getting into the longer inbreeding, they start having more issues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That are getting monkey jawed or odd shaped heads and that kind of stuff.
Yep. And that's one thing, like in the hog dogs, a lot of people they don't pay attention to it as much. And you don't have to per se. You know, you can get by with a lot of faults as far as like physical and conformation attributes in the hog dog world. You know, like you can have a little bit of an underbite or a little overbite, undershot, whatever you want to call it. But if you got one that you're going to be pitting, you don't need that.
Oh no, you got to soon as that sucker's about 16 weeks old and he starts shedding them baby teeth, you better have him on a good setup, good chains, good swivel, good axle. Make sure you have the right kind of feed bowls and water bowls for them. I always like my heavy concrete feed bowls, heavy concrete water bowls, because them dogs right there, they are bred for athletes and they are busy.
Yep.
And some of these cur dogs are the same way. They get stretched out. Even whenever it come feeding time, they're running chain, running at each other and all that. They'll pick up a bowl, and if you ain't careful, they'll start chewing on a bowl. They done broke a tooth or chipped a tooth. And then a bulldog with no teeth is
he ain't worth nothing.
If he ain't a brood dog, yes.
Yeah,
he ain't worth a lot.
He can't do much.
You got to have the teeth to make you got to have the teeth to make it work. So it's all about preserving the teeth.
Mm-hmm. Now on the with he's talking about having a good setup like that. Is there any? And I mean, you keep a pretty big yard. Of dogs and
I
stuff.
keep the chain yard out there is probably 30, 35 head of dogs on the chain.
Mm-hmm. All right, run us through how you got your stuff set up. Housing, your feeding regimen, meds, supplies, basically maintaining the yard. And I know you got it to where you do it on a good budget. You can keep those dogs, and I've seen your dogs. I've drove out there to your house, to your dog yards, and I've seen them. I put my hands on them, and they look great, and they're all in shape. So, tell some of these listeners how they can try to mimic some of the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, no problem. So, the way I've got it set up, really no different than before when I had my game dogs, but I have a specialty in being resourceful on every day when I'm looking at stuff, my first thing is how can I use it on the dog yard or how can I use it with the dog?
Yeah.
And so first thing, my dog houses are actually spools that I've got put up on pallets. Amount of spool, I think they're 6 foot around.
Mm-hmm.
Put it all on a pallet. That way it's up off the ground and not getting wet or anything like that. Take a couple of the slats out, and it makes a great house. And so use that for my dog house. I wrap the inside of the spool, wrap it with plastic, keep any wind or any rain or anything out of there. Then I run about an 8-foot chain attached to the house, and I like to use my old type bulldog sets, ones that I still have the old big swivels for.
Yeah.
That's the kind where basically you have your 1850 swivel with two 2-inch rings in there, and if you want the dog off the chain, you got to take the first collar off.
That's right.
That way you're not counting on something mechanical as a bull snap or what have you that could possibly come undone. But really, I use bull snaps on a lot of them now, though. Stuff like that, your hardware. I hate to put this out there to put you out of anything, but hardware,
yeah.
eBay, brother, eBay.
Oh, well, that's a fact. I mean, that's the thing about it, because like we try to find the best deals
Yes.
on everything that we get. I would never fault a man for trying to find a good deal as long as it's a good product.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure it ain't no junk.
Yep. So I found a place there on eBay where I'm ordering the big, heavy bull snaps, 4-inch bull snaps. And so I ordered them, used quick links. You can actually buy the quick links right there at Harbor Freight, no problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can set up a dog yard fairly easy doing, like I said, using chain swivels or chains in the spools. Like I said, my concrete bowls that I use for my dog bowls, I made some of them 25 years ago, and they're still right there with me.
Yeah.
If you have a scrap yard or a junk yard nearby, if you can get the aluminum type rims, just bent rims or what have you, or you could use steel rims, take them and lay them on a piece of plywood with the inset down, pour your concrete in there deep enough to cover all your holes and everything, let it sit for a day or two, and it'll make you a great bowl.
Nice.
And like I said, you set your bowls up, and you've seen what I use for my water tubs. Each one of my dogs got a 35-gallon water tub down there. And so I've got it set up where I've got a 50-foot hose. I have to haul water to where my dog yard is. But I take a 250-gallon tank, fill it up. So I sit there and hang out at my dad's and hang out with him while the tank's filling up. So no real biggie. I can do that. And I pull down there to my dog yard. I got a 50-foot, 2-inch hose. I can pull around all my dog spots, wash them all out, scrub them, fill them right back up. Take about 2 minutes to fill it up. And just the simple things of doing that.
Yeah, you
can't. Big difference. Keeping them in good, clean water all the time. And so that's as far as just the yard, the way it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do like to have my chain spots where I've got maybe 2 to 3 foot where I can walk in between them. And that way, them dogs, they get to interact with each other too. I mean, they can't physically make contact, but they can interact. So, like young dogs, I like to put them out there and I'll rotate them all around the yard. Every afternoon, I'll get out there. I may turn 4 or 5 of them loose, let them run around. I may get on the little 3-wheeler and run around and have them follow me, chase and what have you. When I get back, I'll make sure I put them on different spots than where they were before.
It makes a big difference, don't it?
Oh, yes. No different than back when we used to have the chickens. You rotate them, man. Same thing with the dogs. You got to rotate them, and so they don't get bored, they get stale.
I agree, because that's pretty much what Nate does. Nate does every day now is, he'll let a couple of them run around while he's working, and there's, I don't know probably once every couple of weeks, you start rotating dogs around a little bit.
Yeah, just something happens.
Something. Yeah.
There's a reason, whether it be a dog got injured, one came in heat, one's got this weird spot. I mean, when you have like 40, 50 dogs, like there's going to be one that's like, oh, look at this slight inconvenience. It's not an problem.
It is. If you got one female coming heat, they're all coming in heat.
Oh yeah, we know. It's been a whole fucking 2 months of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It has
And
been
then that's
nonstop.
got to make your bell dogs acting stupid.
Oh, look, they won't hunt. They're gonna lay in that box and cry. Oh, let me touch your titty.
I think you're just talking about Eminem.
Oh yeah, talking about him.
He's right here, looking real guilty.
Yeah,
he looks very guilty.
Well, he actually
poontang dog.
Yeah, we let him get him. We let him get him a little shot.
Okay.
We let him read that old long range mountain or blackmouth cur that I had.
Yeah.
Kate, yeah, and so maybe we'll see what she had some puppies the other day. So
that was Jane.
Oh, that was Jane. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We bred Jane to Junior. We bred Kate to M.
Yeah. Okay. So
now is that was she in relation to that Matt dog that you had?
No. Mm-hmm. These are rougher dogs.
Yeah.
Matt she wasn't as rough, but I say that, but where he's hunting right now with Cole and them, he gets pretty rough sometimes.
Okay.
He's been doing really good. He's been doing really good. He fits in well with that pack of dogs.
I got you.
He didn't fit with mine as much.
It's all about who you surround yourself with, whether it's humans or dogs.
Yep, and so it worked out good. And I mean, like I said, he produced hogs all the time, and it's so hard sometimes to let a good dog like that go. But at the same time, it's like, what's the best for the dog?
Oh yeah, if somebody else is going to use him to the best of, in a better way, better, put him on a better team. I mean, it's no different than
it gave him a better chance to be more of a lead dog.
Yeah,
all the time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
And every now and then you swap them up, put them in a different team, and you'll see what they really can do.
Yep.
That might make them shine, or they might make them flop.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
Yep.
It can definitely.
But one more thing I was thinking about. You talk about on the dog yard.
Mm-hmm.
I actually supplement. So I feed a 24-20 dog feed. That's actually a pellet type dog feed, made right there at in Alma, where it's made. I feed it's the Magnum 24-20.
Gotcha.
So that's what I feed. But I supplement all year long with peanut butter. And if you down here in the South, we have a lot of peanut mills over here. So I will actually buy drums of the peanut butter that's unprocessed. I say it's unprocessed. This does not have any of the xylitol or anything. This is straight 100% crushed peanut butter out of just roasted peanuts. And that's actually, I use that a lot, supplement. Like wintertime coming up and everything, I can keep good weight on them. They eat it. They look good, act good. And, it's just another way of keeping them in good shape, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper than a $45 sack of dog feed.
It works. There ain't no doubt.
Yeah, I think I sent y'all some drums up there before.
Yeah, so we used it last winter, and it really helped a lot. And I need to get some more. Like I said, wintertime coming up. I need
It's the only inconvenience is it's messy.
Yeah, it is.
But other than that, like I said, I'll keep some in front of my dogs all the time, and I'd go through a lot less of the regular bag feed that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they still stay in good shape. Like I said, they look good, feel good, run good. So that's just another way of.
How many calories does it have per
cup? I think it's about 38. I think it's 38% protein.
Yeah, I think Nate. We looked it up. Wasn't it like 1,500 calories per cup?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 3 times the amount of like most like high performance dogs.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Like 450 and 500.
Yeah.
So
I know we looked it up. I think we was there at Hickory Cross and looked it up.
Yeah. I was going to say we all looked it up when we was out there.
Yeah.
So you're looking at three to 4 times more calories than a really good kibble.
About 1,500.
Yeah, about 1,500 per cup. Now that's calories, so like you said, you're looking at 30+% protein.
Yeah, about 38.
38, yeah. So I mean that's shit, you can't beat it. And then like you said, man, you get some of these places, you can get this stuff very, very cheap.
Oh yeah, there's a place over in I think West Georgia, Sylvester. I don't know how far y'all are from there. I know I've seen it advertised over there. Some of them, I don't know, it's $65, $75, $85 per drum. And these figure a drum weighs 550 pounds. That carry you a long way through the wintertime.
Oh, yeah. I think a drum was lasting us about a month, wasn't it, Nate, with all the dogs we had. And I mean, not like that's 50 plus head.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it makes a difference, especially if you got a hard keeper. Like, just fixing to be cold weather, you got some dogs that just, it don't seem like no matter what you do, they can't maintain weight. That peanut butter makes a difference.
Sure does.
Especially, you keep them wormed out and everything. See, the first of every month, when I say the first of the month, the first of the month, like the other day was September the 1st, I'm out there, I have a deck the max, and I still use my Ranvet type wormer. And so I hit them all with that. Like I like to swap it out between the Deck the Max and the Ivamec.
Yeah.
Some months I'll load them up. Like if it's the heavy mosquito months or what have you, I will actually hit them with the Ivamec and the Deck the Max.
I got you.
Which Deck the Max is still another type of agricultural
yes,
wormer, mange, tick mite, that kind of stuff.
I think there's so many people, they think, well, they wormed them with one thing, then, and that's all they need. And no, and that's the thing about it, man, because like we swap wormers all the time. Same thing like you said. We still use Ranvet. That's a 3-month wormer. But look, we probably use it every 2 months. A lot of times it's every month, regardless.
Yes.
And we use Ivamec every month.
Oh, absolutely.
And now
Ivamec is one of your best friends, yes.
Yeah. Oh, hell yes, it is. Especially, for folks that's really getting a yard started that's never done it before. Yes, look into Ivamec or ivermectin, agramectin.
Yes.
The agramectin is the same thing. It's a lot cheaper than Ivamec.
Yes.
But like
Ivamec's just a name brand, but it's all the same stuff.
It's all the same stuff. Exactly. Do you use the paste or do you
I use
the injectable or pour on?
Well, it's normally the injectable, so I pull it up. I normally give 1/10 of the cc for every 10 pounds of body weight. So just call it a 50-pound dog. He gets a half a cc.
Yes. We do the pour on. That's what I started out using. The guy that showed me how to use it. It's the same thing, 1/10 of a cc per 10 pounds of body weight. And we just squirt it right down the nape of their neck. Yeah. And it really helps. And so if people will do that, like I said, for listeners who are really starting to get into dogs and starting to breed dogs and maintain a bigger yard, this is definitely the episode you need to be listening to, because Nathan knows his shit on that.
Well, and I'll say this, most of my stuff is where I've been taught by somebody else, or I had to figure it out on my own by necessity.
Well, that's what we were talking about a while ago. We're giving all this information out, and we had to go work a dog yard all summer. We had to feed and water, rake, check chain spots, do flea and tick treatments, worming, and not just that, hand walking bulldogs. Treadmilling, flirt pole, spring pole. I ain't gonna get into too much more because I'm gonna get all fired up. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Then you out there having to cook the food too. You out there with the.
Oh, you got to. You can't give that. So I don't know what. Lord of mercy. I was thinking, say, I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't know anybody that's gonna go pour some dry dog food out there and say, okay, yeah, here you go. We're gonna have a keep with this. Shit.
No, you better be cooking. You better have some brown rice and some egg noodles and some mackerel.
You better have some mackerel for sure in that brown rice. That is no joke.
Yep. You got to have, like I said, the brown rice, the mackerel, some form of vitamin K up in there.
And that's good for your hunting dogs too, folks. Not all the time. You don't want to do it all the time, but like I said, if you got a hard keeper, hey, right there's your little recipe.
Oh yeah, that and the mackerel, that kind of stuff. I was actually stopped at a I don't know what, a consignment shop. It was some type of mint, call it a bent can shop or whatever you call it. Like
Yeah, like a Bent and Dent grocery deal.
yeah, yes. So I bought a case of I think it was 24 cans of the mackerel the other day for like 89 cents a can.
Wow. Yeah.
And I mean, I just bought it for a rainy day, man. If I end up having some puppies that don't look right, or if I got a mama dog that coming off of puppies or just raising puppies or stuff, and it's hard to beat that mackerel
Yes.
and that kind of stuff. At 89 cents a can, that's cheaper than damn regular dog feed.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And that's the thing about it. And you can take and stretch that. You could take in, if you got a half a 5-gallon bucket of kibble, you could put 2 or 3 cans of that in there and just mix it all up and, feed puppies or young dogs or whatever. It helps.
I watched a video the other day of a young man that that was actually cooking his own dog feed with I think he had a skint hog there and he trimmed it down and ground it up, boiled it.
Yep.
Made his own dog feed for the winter.
Yep. You can do that. It definitely helps. But running it through that rough grind is where that really changed everything. Just cutting it up and feeding it to him. I mean, that's all well and good. But once that young man started doing that, changed it.
What I found out,
listened to another older man for a lot of years, and I'd like to say I know that guy, but it probably wasn't me. It's probably your ass, Nathan Brooks.
what I know about is just cutting it up in chunks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They grab the first chunk, and next thing you know, it's laying in the dirt.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they get to sit there and chew on it, laying in the dirt. They're going to run back over to the bowl and get your next piece you throw at him. He's going to drop it in the dirt.
Yep.
Whereas if you boil it up and cook it,
Mm-hmm.
it basically make you a thick soup, mix you some kibble in there with it, make you a thick soup or a big mush.
Yep.
Throw it to him, and yes, it was processed so much better, and they digest it so much better that way.
You can fit more meat in the bowl. You get more calories in the same serving.
Oh, and there was so much
absolutely.
ice.
Plus, you're also giving him more water through his diet that way too.
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. There was so much ice and frozen temperatures,
and it cooks faster when you grind it. It takes half the time.
Half
the time.
Do you, and there for people who, like I said, this episode's for people who are that's starting to get 10, 15 dogs and they don't even need them, But in the wintertime, your dogs will not drink as much water, so you have to watch that. Mm-hmm. Dogs will get dehydrated. Ours do anyway, and I know a lot of people that do. But like they're talking about, you can float your food, even if you're feeding just kibble. You can pour a little bit of water in there and get it wet, so the dog has to intake.
Yeah, and plus on those real cold nights, I mean, hell, who wouldn't want a good hot meal? I mean, hell, it's not like the dogs out there. It's not like they're out there freezing to death. I mean, they'll be outside rolling around in damn mud when it's 20 degrees.
I remember that first time you went outside. It's been a long time ago. Nate went outside and we had a hard freeze, single digit wind chills.
Sleeping on the ground.
Nate was like, "Dad, I'm so worried about them dogs." He goes out there, and I think it was King. He was out there jumping up and down, barking. They're all out there flipping and flopping in the snow and the ice. And he was like, "Oh Lord," I said, "Shit, them dogs are built for that." So yeah, that's been a long time ago,
Didn't y'all do a podcast recently with Iditarod guy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, and I thought you did, and I want to say he basically was doing the same thing, cooking up the fish soup and everything. That's what he was giving his dogs every day.
Yep. Yeah, and I know
but he was also supplementing with I'm sure he was supplementing with some type of electrolytes and stuff for him.
Well, I don't remember what. Now we went through. Was it year before last night where we made some prepackaged?
Yeah.
Right. And like you can keep your trimmings off your deer. Wild hogs, any kind of wild game. Like we were doing it with beaver and raccoon. And
dogs love beaver.
Yes, dude. You can grind that up, and you can put a little bit of red cell or dine, any kind like protein powder. You can put some supplements in it, and just put it in a gallon Ziploc bag and take it when you go on a hunt, and just feed your dog a little a small handful at a time. Shit, man, them things are jumping and I mean, it's really good for them.
Oh yeah, I know. So I got a friend who that's what he does now that he's retired. He's trapping all the time. He's trapping varmints.
Yeah.
Trapping the coons, the beaver, the foxes, and the bobcats and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he's out trapping the beavers, he'll save me all of his beavers that he's after he's got them skinned out and everything. He'll have them in the freezer, and I'll go over there and pick them up 10 or 15 at a time.
Yes, sir.
And yes, I feed that to them out there on the dog yard, and them dogs love it. And it's a very good, rich red meat.
It's actually I don't know if you've ever ate it yourself, but I've ate it before. It's good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, them dogs, man, they love it.
Right up. Oh yeah. And just another way of, just like this fixing to be deer season, like you said, I know in Georgia bow season starts Saturday.
Now is that regular bow season or your bow season?
Oh no, theirs. That ain't my bow season. I own a bow, and that's only because if I was to ever need it in self-defense, it damn sure ain't because I'm going to hunt a deer with it.
There you go.
Yeah, that is not my thing. I'm not feeding yellow flies and deer flies in 100-degree weather.
It's hot. Dude,
yes.
Y'all got the worst deer flies. Fucking Fargo down there. I hate fuck Fargo, man.
Yeah.
That place sucks.
I think whenever we was at last time we was at Abbeville, you was talking about going. I said you better watch out for the deer flies.
Yes, you was
y'all
not
lying. Crazy like that. What the hell is that? And so whenever y'all went down there and you walked to the bear tree.
Y'all went the next week, didn't you, or 2 weeks later?
Yeah, I think I went the next week or the week after. And yeah,
I waited and tell him I'm on the phone.
I waited about 400 yards to a damn bear tree that I messed up and put on my hip boots beforehand. I should have just put on some tight tennis shoes and went.
Yeah.
Man, about the second step, third step, I was over to about my chest deep with them hip boots on. They filled up like balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we walked about 400 yards into that tree, looked at the bear, sat there and worked the dogs and everything, and went to come down. And it probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon by then. Man, I thought I was dying. We got back to the truck. I had to get the boy's little girl to hand me a soda. I couldn't even get up on top of the truck to get a soda.
I bet, yeah, that place down there is rough, buddy. It's rough.
Yeah, it is. And everything down there will bite you, stick you, sting you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But you can make a dog down there.
Oh, yeah. Ain't no doubt. You can definitely make a dog.
The guy that I went with, the next day, I think it was the next day, he went down there and held two of the same dogs that we went with got killed that day. Yeah. Down there. Bad boar hog, about I think he said about 2 1/4, about 2 1/2 teeth on him, and just in a thick spot. You couldn't get to him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places down there that's real, real thick, and it's his son come up here and got a couple of dogs from me, Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan.
Yeah, he came and got 2 rough dogs, and I talked to him Friday, and he told me, he said one of them, the male was doing real good, and the female, he said, well, she's not doing as good. I said, well, what's up? He said, now keep in mind, these are 4-year-old, going on 5-year-old dogs.
Yeah.
And I should have been more clear about it myself, but and about shit when he told me, he's like, well, I carried her down there to the hog pen and was going to show her a pig. I said, what? He's like, well, I was just going to see if she was going to mess with it. I was like, oh no. I said, well, I can tell you, if you put her in there, she's going to turn her head and look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, they know what caught hog is.
Well, she better not touch it. And he said, well, that hog almost ran her over. He said, she just turned her head. I was like, yes, that's what a finished dog's supposed to do. I said, number 2, they're not supposed to go in them. They better not be over there at a trap. They better not be at nobody's pig pen, nobody's cows, nobody's horses, none of that. Yeah. He was like, oh, so.
Stop broke dog.
And that's what I told him. I was like, I hope you didn't mess that whole deal up there, buddy. I said, I don't know. He's like, I didn't know. I was just trying to see. I was like, look, I said, if you got a finished dog, you ain't got to do that.
Yep.
And so I'm hoping it all works out. And I told him, I said, give her a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, just let her chill. I said, then take her out and hunt her a little bit. And I said, if she don't, and she don't act right or something like that, I said, call me and let me know. I said, and I said, I'll come get her.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out,
That's what you said, like a stock-proof dog. Dogs that know.
Yes.
Some dogs are smart enough to know what a caught hog means. You just got to work on them. I call it doing the yard work here at the house.
Well,
inside my backyard or out there in my fields.
Mm-hmm.
I do the yard work with that collar and work on them. I don't get crazy with a hand or anything. As long as I can catch him, call him. And now that bulldog or that catch dog, I'm gonna make them. I probably make them mind way more than I do my cur dogs.
Yeah, and that's what these are cur and pit crosses. They're all just running catch dogs. But like I said, I mean, for several years, their kennel is in the middle of a cow pasture with cows coming up to the kennel, and
they're used to it.
And their kennel now is what, 20 yards from the pig pen, Nate? Or at my house is 20 yards.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. And he put her in there, and he said John Boy did grab the pig. I was like, I said, hey, he's not supposed to. I said, so you might have a problem if he gets out. If he gets off the chain or out of the kennel, he's going to go down there now.
Yeah,
because you told him you let him know it was okay. I was like, so I don't know. I said, man, oh man.
Like generally, if somebody gets a dog from me, they buy one from me. If I give them one, I will tell them everything I know about the dog.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you he knows what a hog is, they know what a damn hog is.
Yeah. Well, that's what we went out and worked the dogs and ran them. And I told him everything that I knew.
Yeah.
I just didn't think to tell him. I didn't think I would have to tell him to be like, hey, don't go put it in a pen. Why would you take a finished dog and do that? But he just don't know. He didn't know that about the dog. Yeah. So that that's still some. I know now to go more in depth, I guess, in the future. But at the same time, that's how they are. But having stock broke dogs and stuff like that, it's a good plus.
Yeah, where I hunt at,
you gotta have them, don't you?
Yeah. Because there's like 15 or 20 different cow herds. There's over 2,000 head of cows over there, and mamas all the time having babies and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
my dogs, mine are not gonna mess with a cow. Now, they when I first got them Catahoulas, they want to try it. I mean, simply because I guess it's just more bred into them, and to me, a cur dog's way smarter than a hound. As far as like trashing and stuff like that, or what.
Mm-hmm.
So the cur dogs, they're pretty easy to get off the cows as long as you keep them in the hogs. They don't seem to bother them too bad anymore.
Yeah. Nathan's two dogs, they seen cows for the first time, and we ain't even thought about it because we hunt around them all the time. They never paid attention. They went out there and started baying them, and there was I think a bull and two other ones broke off. Well, hell, they went out there and herded them back up, got them all bunched up tight, and then Nathan called them off, and they went and got in the truck.
Yeah, they was like, okay, we guess we ain't messing with these.
I think you had to tone them.
I toned him twice. He came off.
And Lou, you had to do.
I toned him twice, and then that cow ended up doing that, and so I ended up bumping.
So you had to bump him one time,
low, medium.
But now they had never
seen a cow.
Never been trained before, so it would, like you said, the curs were a lot easier.
Oh yeah, man, hounds, like trying to get a hound off of running trash like deer and that kind of mess, man, you could. But way back before you had the Garmin's, man, you could wear a leash out on them and you still ain't gonna break him. But cur dog, I've had deer get up in front of them 10 foot while you got there rigging them or what have you. Just haul at them once or twice and just scold them, and it don't take a lot. The cur dog is way smarter to get on. I mean, the cur dog works more off your tone when you're talking to him too than a hound. The hound,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, they're just hard headed. A cur dog, you talk to him in the wrong tone or a different tone, they pick up on that and figure out that they're doing something different that they don't need to be doing.
Yeah, they can, like you said, they can pick it up.
I
never messed with a lot of hounds. I've had a few.
Uh-huh.
And one of the reasons was because of that. It's like some of the hounds that I've been around, they specifically hunt for themselves. They don't care about you. But all
They're
want,
about the race.
yes, that's it. And so
Mhm.
I like the cur dogs, and well, I like the terriers as well, but the terriers are about 50-50, you know. Um,
Well, the terriers, you have to limit who's hunting with you. You either everybody's hunting terriers that day,
yes,
or you don't put a mixed pack in there with terriers and curs. That don't work out very well.
it does not. And that's what I tried to explain to people. Everybody wanted to get one. They said, I want one of them Jags, or I want a Patterdale. I was like, one? And they're like, yeah. I was like, you're going to mess everything up.
Yes.
Like, you have to run a whole pack of them. They're like, oh, I don't want to do that with them. I was like, well, you can get one, but good luck. That's all I can tell you.
It don't work very well.
No.
Like I said, you run them in a pack and just whatever they catch, you let them destroy it and go around. They're meat dogs. I mean, you're not going to stop them from killing coons that they catch on the ground. You're not going to stop them from killing every possum they come across or anything else. You're not going to stop that.
No,
they're just
generally they're going to just do it.
Catch and kill.
Yep, they're on a mission all the time.
Oh yeah, they're on a heat-seeking missile or whatever they can catch.
Yep, ain't no doubt.
But
they are easy to start and easy to do. The training is nothing. Like, there's no training. You just turn them loose.
No, I know me and you have talked about it in the past.
Yeah.
Well, y'all have actually bred Jags to the like the bird dogs and that kind of stuff. How do those work out?
They were probably the best dogs we've ever had.
Really?
Yes, and they didn't go trashing on shit. Had a head full of sense. They minded. They hunted very well. Honestly, if we'd have let them cast further, I had to reel them in for the way that we were hunting. But I mean, they had all the bottom in the world for sure. But like, I mean, they were half a mile, 3/4 of a mile is where I kept them at. But when they were young,
there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, when they were real young, they just kept going. If there was no sign. Now they were not the dogs that would blow by any to go find something. You know, they were a little slower. They didn't blow out of the country. They would take off, and you know how them Jags got that little trot. You know, that little trot they do.
That crazy lope that they have. Yes.
Yep. And they would do that, and they would stay steady like that the whole time. And it's like they would just paint the whole Garmin screen. They would hunt the whole area, not just one line up a creek. They would hunt both sides of the creek. They'd hunt down one side, and they'd hunt, you know, a couple 100 yards wide and make circles, go up 1,000 yards, 3/4 of a mile, cut across, and work back to me. Now, and it took a long time. That wasn't just an overnight thing either, you know.
Yeah.
Took a long time. I don't know, I think we had 6 or 7 in the pack. There was a couple full-blooded Jags.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had 2 full-blooded Jags. Then I had 2 full-blooded bird dogs. And then I had 3 or 4 of the Jag and bird crosses that we ran all the time.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much my pack. I would leave, you know, I always left 1 or 2 at the house, and I had other ones. But
they got to say something for seed because you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. And I tell you, I carried every one of my old dogs at one time. And that's the worst night that I ever had in my life. And I lost every single dog within the ones that didn't die there, they were dead within a week.
Oh, wow.
Every single one. Every dog was 6. The youngest one I had was 6 years old. So I've been hunting them, you know, and they were all born on my yard.
Yeah.
So that was tough. And I didn't have anything coming up either.
That was your king dog in them?
No, this was before those.
Okay.
This was the ones that were, this was before we'd even heard of the hides and all that.
Okay. This was back to pre-hide days then.
Yeah, we had just started doing some breedings. And had got the Airedales. And I was trying to, I know we had done 1 or 2 breedings. And, but I think that was around 2012, 2014 is when I lost that pack.
Gotcha. How big were they size-wise?
35 to 45 pounds. I had one male that was he was real blocky. You know, he was built, he looked more like the bird dog build.
Yeah. More squared up.
Probably 50 pounds, and that was the biggest one. All the rest of them were that was the only downfall I seen. They were what I call spindly, kind of bony looking,
Almost like frail.
Yeah, but dude, them some bitches were rough. They were tough. They could hunt, and I mean, they just had what you needed. I always wanted to. I wished I'd have just took and put a bulldog over one of them then, and just put some of that, put some beef on them,
Yeah, put a little more texture to the bone and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it'd be similar to what the Hyde Terrier deal was, but with the Airedales that we wound up getting, it worked out good for what we wound up doing there with them. So,
gotcha. I know. I've been hunting with dogs for 30 years.
mm-hmm.
Different types of bird and bull crosses and stuff. And I love a bird dog, some type of bird dog in my dogs.
Yes.
It just seems to give them a lot of nose and a lot of sense, and a lot of them have got some good cast in them that way.
They do, don't they?
But like I said, the bird and bulls, they work out good, but I was just thinking about something that's high drive like your Jag.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why it shouldn't work. It's just depends on where you was hunting at, but the size.
Yeah. They were a little hot when they were young, but
yeah,
they had enough sense from that bird dog that, we got them calmed down.
Yeah.
They would listen.
Like I said, a bird dog, as long as they can stay on top, them things are ranked.
Mm-hmm.
They are ranked.
We just bred, I hope she bred Louie to BB. BB is half cat, half bird.
Okay.
And we crossed her to Louie, which is a full-blooded Kimmer. And so.
Now, how you like your cat bird? I've never made that cross either.
I've had a couple of them. They're pretty good. She's got a lot of cast to her. Like she really will, and she's getting better and better. She will stay out. I mean, that dog will stay out all day if you just let her. Like literally, she'll just stay out and hunt. And she's missing something. Like, I don't know what it is. I think she's still just not, she's 3 years old.
Yeah.
And she's been on a bunch of hogs. And that, like I said, and she's got a lot of cast to her.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like there's something missing. So we decided to breed her. And said, well, she's never been bred before, or she's never had puppies. So we're going to see what that'll do.
Well, I'll tell you what I know about breeding. It's all about percentages.
Mm-hmm.
If you raise 6 pups and 3 of them turn out great, 2 good, and 1 to cull, that's still pretty damn good percentages, isn't it?
I'm hoping it helps her. That's my main goal. But if we do hit a good percentage, that's even better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
If we get puppies that turn out, but I'm hoping that maybe this will put whatever she's lacking. Maybe.
So what you're thinking is like something in lacking when you say, is that personality that you're lacking?
I think she's not. She just doesn't have the confidence, and she should.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She should have the confidence, but she's only been ran with other dogs her whole life. But now she's starting to get off by herself.
Yeah.
And she's found hogs by herself, and she'll bay, but she just don't have that confidence just to stay stuck with it.
Yeah. That's one thing I do like to do with mine. Once I get them going good and they get where they find them with other dogs and stuff, I like to single them out.
Yes.
And single them out, let them figure it out on their own. That way they're not relying on somebody else. I have no problem when I turn them loose if one goes one way and one goes the other. Together. So it works out better for me like that. Single them out and get them where they don't have to rely on one or depend on one.
Mm-hmm.
So now once they've got it figured out, of course I'll turn them back loose in. Like I said, I don't care if they go, like I said, split directions and shoot them. One's baying one way and one's running the other way. I don't care. Shoot, I'll catch up with them sooner or later.
That's right.
I mean, there's no point in them covering the same piece of dirt if the first one went through there.
Well, we done the same. Like when I was talking about having that pack of dogs that all of them got knocked down.
Yeah.
It kind of surprised me that all of them were even there, because generally you had, there's 6 or 7 dogs there running, and you would have 4 of them would be split up, and there was always 1 or 2 that stuck together, out of the whole pack.
Little bus partners, crime partners.
Yes, and I had 2 of them. One was a mama and a daughter, and then the other one they were 2 dogs that just absolutely hated each other. You couldn't box them together. You couldn't put them nowhere close to each other except when they were hunting, and they were the best. I mean, they were a hell of a duo. Didn't make any sense, but they didn't fight when they were hunting.
Wow.
Yeah, there's something wrong with them. I don't know, but then again, they were Jags.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, it worked out great for us because we found a lot of hogs.
Oh yeah.
We found them fast. If you got dogs that are covering ground in every direction around you.
Oh yeah, beating the bushes up too, yes. And using their nose, yes. You can find a lot of hogs. Now you just got to be plenty of mule tape in your pocket.
Well, would you rather have a dog that's running like in those areas that you hunt? Would you rather have a dog that runs with his head up or with his head in a track?
So
like wind and drifting track instead of actually just pushing.
I'll tell you really how I do a lot of my hunting. I've got a Catahoula male that come from Ronnie and Kathy Joyner, which is actually where all my Catahoulas come from. I got a male. He was doing real good for me. I messed up last year, ended up running him over twice in about 5 minutes. Out there rigging in front of the truck trot. Luckily, it was some good soft ground on the edge of a cornfield. Put him up, carried him back the next week, and I said, hell, instead of trying to rig you off in front of the truck, I threw him on top of the toolbox in the dog box, right?
Yeah.
He has made me a rig dog just by, I can throw him out there, he'll ride onto a toolbox or the dog box. And so I can ease around the side of my cornfields or my peanut fields or what have you. He's got that head throwed up, winded. I mean, he is a cur dog, but he's got enough sense to know how to win, and he'll bark.
Yeah.
A lot of cur dogs, you got to sit there and watch them because they're never going to open. But straight out of necessity, like I said, I guess he figured out it's easier to ride than get run over.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Yeah, and so, hey, it works. And so I can cover pretty good ground like that. He's around the side of them fields, and shoot, I know I've had him wind them out and then go ahead and send him after he starts opening, and he'll actually, I'm going to say probably 150, 200 yard nose sometimes, depending on the thermals and the weathers, right?
Yeah.
He can pick them up pretty good. I still won't say he's like no hound now, but he can damn sure get one started for you.
Nothing wrong with that.
So,
I like one that'll
but
do
no,
that.
I do have some that I will, that I do, like my big bird and bulls. When you ask about head up, they, when I got them out rigging or what have you, if I'm trotting them in front of the truck, there's one of them, you ever see him drop his head down and throw his head up in the air? He is fixing to roll out, and it's about to happen. Business is about to happen. But yeah, no, they run with their head up. I was trotting him the other day, shoot. He trotted beside the buggy at about 18, 19 miles an hour for over a half a mile.
Hell yeah.
Just sit there trotting, and he was just sitting there in a pretty low. You didn't, and hell, when we stopped, he sat there, wasn't breathing hard, hassling or nothing. But I've been trotting him beside the buggy pretty regular. Yeah,
that's the way I like to do mine as well. Me and you, we hunt a lot similar style.
Yeah.
For a lot of especially the rougher dogs,
Oh yeah, you got rough dogs. You got to have your hands on them,
and they got to be in shape. Like you said, they got to be able to run. I've had people, they're like, man, you're going to wear that dog out running him like that. I was like, if that wears him out, it ain't going to work for me.
Yeah.
Because he's got to be able to hold for however long it takes.
Oh, yeah. And depending on how thick your woods are, yeah. But luckily, so like I said, where I hunt is a bunch of ag fields and peanut fields, crop fields, and cow pasture. So the hogs, they'll get in and they'll try to eat out the cow feeders and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really have to have 1,000-yard dog or anything to cast crazy. big numbers or anything like that. If my dog needs to cast 1,000 yards, I should have just parked the truck in a different spot.
I'm glad you brought that up because like we had some folks that were bringing that. They brought up a similar deal, but they were totally opposite. There was a couple guys on there and they were like, well, it was when Nate uploaded the sound bite or sound clip for Drew Todd. And he was talking about his dog make a loop, 500-600 yards, maybe 800 or so, and then come back. And there were some of them guys, they were like, well, if my dog only makes 500 yard to 800 yard loop, I'm not feeding much. And I'm like, well, man, that just depends on where you hunt and why you hunt.
What's he doing in that 800 yards or that's 500 yards? Is he covering every inch of it, or is he just blowing through it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like they're like Drew hunts the same way you do. Like, I mean,
yeah, because he hunts not too far from where
exactly.
Where
so that's more of the geographical location. But like these guys were talking, they want a dog that's going to cast and go a mile plus and just go until they find a hog.
Yeah, no, I don't need that.
And yeah, and then they were like, well, and then he made the actual statement and said, if I have to put a dog in hog sign, then I don't need that dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I know what my point of view is. My point of view is I make it as easy as I can for my dogs, and we got to catch numbers and move.
Yeah, I know you've heard me use the term when the hogs are hogging.
Yes.
When you get out there where the hog sign's at, or if you can't always be where the hog sign's at, but I'll put them in the beaver dams and I'll put them in the creek bottoms where I know that obviously in 90-degree weather, he's either in a plowed field or his ass is in a damn wet spot. They're in the wet spot.
Mm-hmm.
I got enough sense to know to put him in the wet spot, put him in the beaver dams in the creek bottoms, put the dogs in there and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I want them to do is like 500-600 yards, because the spots that I'm hunting in between these fields is really nothing more than the creeks and the draws that they couldn't farm.
Yeah.
Whenever they originally established these fields and properties, this is just a wet spot, so they couldn't stick something in to grow.
That's right.
So, yeah, my dogs, if they cast out 400 or 500 yards, go out, they beat in the bushes, and if they covering that 400 or 500 yards, I'm good.
Yep.
And I just don't like wearing them out on just running for the hell of running, just blowing through looking for it.
Well, I noticed that it takes a lot of time when you hunt with dogs like that to get a hog started.
Oh yeah.
And and I, like I said, and don't get me wrong, I've actually went and hunted with that same style dog.
Yeah.
And we've caught some hogs, and I went and hunted with hot nosed dogs that won't go but 200 or 300 yards, maybe 500, and I've caught 30 head in a day.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? The hogs are hogging.
That's it. Well, it also goes back to you're not wasting time waiting on one to waddle out a track out there either.
That's right. I can't spend 4 hours.
You talked about it before. Yeah, me and you talked about it before.
Yeah.
There's people out there that do what I call beagling a track.
Yes.
They got a dog that's too slow, like a damn beagle. He's too slow to push the track and to make him stop, and he ain't got enough ass to stop him when he does. So you might as well just have a pack of beagles out there running.
Yes, that's it right there.
I believe speed catches.
Yeah. And now I know some of them hounds, like these guys are talking about, dude, they're fast as hell. I mean, they really are. And the places that they're hunting, I can see where that's the style of dog that you need. But I've also noticed that most every one of them guys are so quick to talk shit about somebody who doesn't run that same style dog.
Hey,
they can bring them over here. But now that same thing is, Nathan, look at how big our properties are.
Oh yeah.
We got a couple thousand acres here, a couple thousand here, maybe not even 1,000 in some spots. Yeah.
You got to make.
They can't run that.
No, shoot, a dog can. You take a fast dog, one of them more big, long-legged dogs that's going to be blowing through that stuff.
That some bitch is gone.
Yeah, he's off your property. Then you in some junk.
Yep.
But I want something that's going to cover every inch of it to make sure that hog ain't just bedded down, laid up.
Yes.
So that's what works better for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like you. I'm good with 500 or 600 yard cast as long as he's beating the bushes and looking through. Hell, it might be your spot. It might not be the dog.
That's exactly right. I'm not, now don't get me wrong. There's a lot of times we will literally sit and let the dogs go out and waller a track. We'll let them go out there, and because we know where we're hunting at. If they go 3/4 of a mile, they're going to cover to the edge of the property.
Oh yeah.
So we just let them go ahead and do it. But now if there's a lot of sign and it's hot, when I kick them dogs out, they need to be on the track real quick.
Yeah, why burn them out just for the hell of it?
Yes, because I don't want them just
miles in the tank whenever you turn them loose.
Yep.
I mean, you only going to get so much gas mileage out of them whenever you turning them out. So why not use it catching hogs instead of out there blowing through a piece of property?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my thought on that. Like I said, if I can save him a half a mile of steps, why not?
Yes. I don't know, man. I know that, like I said, I know that was a topic on that episode there. It wasn't necessarily on the episode, but it was some of the listeners and
yeah, I was listening to his what's the Todd guy's name?
Drew.
Yeah, okay. I was listening to the Drew Todd pod the other day.
Yeah.
And me and him hunt probably not too far from each other, really.
Yeah.
If we was to ever sit down and really talk about it, definitely about the same style of dogs, though.
I know he catches some big hogs too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
that's some big hogs around. You get closer to Omaha and over there, there's some good hogs. You get down to the marsh, where I'm about 45 minutes from the Brunswick, from the marsh down that way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of real good toothy hogs down towards the marsh. Now most of them not going to be huge as far as body weight, but them suckers be carrying some spling blades on them.
Yeah. I've never
just
hunted
something about, I don't know if it's the diet or what, but
I wonder what does that though.
I don't know. This place where I hunt most of the time, I've only caught probably 4 or 5 over there with what I would consider super good teeth on a hog.
Yeah.
But most of them, they may have 1.5 inches, 2 inches, but really you're not going to have the best one I've caught. I've done a Euro on him in there. He's probably about 3.5 to 4 on each side.
Yeah.
And
a lot of teeth.
So yeah, I was over there one morning by myself. I had my GoPro with me, and I turned the dogs out, collared them up, turned them out, just going to let them run around and pee and do their business for a minute. Next thing you know, they in there about 75 to 100 yards, bayed up. And I listened to what all was baying.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And so I stopped there at the front of the truck, whipped out the GoPro, and I done me a narration on the day's date, time, and where I'm at and what I got going on. And I left the catch dog in the truck, and I grabbed a little 22 Magnum and went on up there and seen what was going on. And I put a stop to that shit pretty quick.
Hell yeah.
He had his ass up under a blowed over pine tree.
Mm-hmm.
And all he had was front shoulders hanging out in that head. And he was working.
Yeah.
Hey, the little Skippy dog that you had.
That's right.
He worked on Skippy. He worked on about 4 or 5 of them that morning right there before I got a chance to shoot him.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
so
busy now.
Oh yeah, he was getting with it. But when you're hunting by yourself, that's about what you have to do. Though is you can't really manage 4 or 5 dogs and try to run a catch dog and catch and tie and all that. So,
mm-hmm.
And I get stuck. Me being retired, like I said, everybody else seems to always have to work when I'm wanting to go hunting. So,
yeah,
hey, I'm still getting in the dog work either way if I have to go in there and shoot them myself.
That's what Pat said. We was talking to him. He said he carries him a over and under shooting them 3-inch magnums.
Oh yeah,
that's what he said. He said I get in that thick stuff. He said I gotta be able to take care of business real quick.
Oh yeah, well see, that's like where I hunt at. I know y'all have hunted a lot of cornfields also.
Mm-hmm.
Corn, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Especially if you hunt by yourself, that stuff is terrible because you have nothing to tie to as far as trying to tie a dog back. You can't breathe in it. If it's overhead high, you can't breathe. It creates its own heat.
Mm-hmm.
And no air. Oh man, you can burn up inside of a cornfield.
Oh yeah, that shit right there is ridiculous.
Yes, and plus you get in and get turned around too.
Oh
You
yeah.
talk about 400 or 500 acres of corn. Shit, you can't hear a dog 50 yards out there. But they'll be in there and hammering on something. And like I said, it sounds like he's 500 yards away and he's right there by you.
Mm-hmm.
So
We've got some nice hogs in them cornfields, but like you said, most of the time, it's all. I ain't gonna say most of the time, but I'd say 90% of the time, it's always a rough situation if it's a good boar hog in standing corn.
Yep, and you better have your shit together.
Yeah, them some bitches, they just. It's like they know. They're like, well, the corn's tall. Let's just tear all this shit up and wreck these dogs. And plus, it's going to be 100 degrees.
And you have no tree to climb either if he chases you.
No.
Yeah. No. So that's another thing. That's it. You better be able to kick him down if he comes by you.
And the cornfields that we hunt up here, for some reason, there's no pesticide or no weed killer that works. Because there's morning glories waist high, and that's some bitch, and you can't even walk through it. Oh, it's absolute nightmare.
Ours aren't that bad, but our problem is like these are commercial cornfields, man. I know one time they run a pivot system out there for 11 days straight, dropped how many inches of water in these things. You may be going through that old slushy gumbo out there where they ain't scared to run a pivot system over here. And man, they'll have it sloppy trying to run through that crap. And like I said, it just gets so hot and humid in that shit.
I mean, yeah. So what if you got a 200 acre cornfield and you've only got say 800 acres of property total, what two dogs are you grabbing to take with you?
I'm probably gonna have to grab them big bird and bull running catch dogs.
Right on.
Yeah. They let them do their thing. And actually, the way I could do it or would probably do it, I would keep one for the perimeter and send one through the middle. Because that one in the middle, while he's sitting there busting everything or moving everything, you got your one out there on the perimeter with you. In case they squeeze out or squirt out, hey man, I use him to catch the squirters that coming out. Let the other one in the middle do his thing. Go to the first one that makes something happen.
Right on.
That's how I would have to do it.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the same way. I'm like, let's just go in here and give it hell.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I like to have one on the truck with me, a running catch dog, just in case. Like I said, if you got something in the middle of the block or something, and you have one squirt out. I mean, you know how it goes. It never fails by you sitting there trying to haul ass to get to the other side of the property or what have you. Hell, they win a hog right in front of you. I'll throw straight out on it with one of them bird and bulls, and 9 times out of 10, they're gonna hang you pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. How big are those two dogs you got?
They 70 pounds apiece.
I think so. I knew they.
Speck and Shrek.
Speck and Shrek. Yeah, I was trying to remember.
Yep, that's them. Yep, Speck and Shrek.
They are good-looking bastards.
Oh, they fine. They and what's crazy to look at them, listen to them, watch them hunt, and be around them. You swear up and down they was brothers. And I really don't know how they are. I got the first one Speck as my neighbor was building a house, and he was over there while they was pouring concrete. She was worried about him putting a paw print in their concrete. The next day, he was 2 miles down the road trying to get run over in the middle of the road. And she opened the door, and he jumped in there. Her husband, he called me. He said, "Hey, man, you need a dog?" He sent me a pic. I said, "Bring him to me." He might have been 6 or 7 months old then.
Yeah.
Just a baby. I carried him straight to the pen and put him on a hog out there. And he's been all natural ever since. And when I say probably the most natural one I've ever had, he has took to it. He's developed his own style and everything. And it does real good for me. I can't complain.
Nice.
And the other one, a year and a half later, niece and nephew live over there 2 counties over from us. they have a bunch of bird dogs and they do quail hunts and stuff. This dog showed up at their house. They sent me a picture of it. I said, hold it today and see if anybody claims it. If not, let me know. Next morning, ain't nobody claimed it. They let everybody around the neighborhood knows. I went over and got it. I took him straight to the pen. But as soon as I heard him bark, oh my God. You close your eyes and you won't know the difference between the two of them.
Yeah. I thought they were brothers.
No. They must say, I don't. Oh,
they
boys
look like they could be, don't they?
Oh, yeah. They look like litter mates.
Yeah. I mean, they look just alike.
Oh, yeah. They are a matched pair. And like I said, they hunt the same, sound the same. Like I said, I've got them. So they stay here at my house. And these off-ground pens, one's in one pen, one's in another. So I've been taking spec with me, doing my guided hunts for my thermals. So in case we, let's say we shoot one and they don't knock it down all the way, I've been turning spec out, let him run them down. Nice. That's pretty fun doing that now.
Yeah, get some dog work in too.
Oh yeah, he gets him some dog work in. Plus he's out there. I mean, once they shoot, I just reach there and open the box and let him out and shoot. He beat the bushes just like a bird dog's supposed to, and if he gets it, it's a caught ass.
You put it on.
Oh yeah, I've got him now where I can shoot. He'll lay there and lick on it once it's dead until you tell him to get in the box, and he'll load up and do his thing. So
that's good.
As long as if you go in there and if you actually just gig him, gig the hog and stick it and leave it, now he'll roll right on out and start relaying for you if you do him that way.
Yeah.
Now if you tie it, it's a little you're gonna have to get him away from the hog a little bit, but right now, like I said, he ain't no problem with me. I could take a tone button and get him off of it.
Yeah. And that just putting your time in. I mean, that's proof right there. That's all it takes. I mean, if the dog's got the ability, you just put your time in and shit, you can make it happen.
Oh yeah. Now I've bred have bred spec several times. I bred him to a straight pointer female, and and like I said, I know that they're definitely bird and bulldog crosses. I just don't know how they're really what their mom and daddy was, but no, I know for a fact I bred him to a pointer female and come up with some nice dogs.
Yeah.
Those are a little over 2 years old now. Running catch dogs. They a little bit smaller than him, but so far I hadn't had any baying in them. They all caught. So that, and I just weaned a litter off of him, bred back to one of them high speed squirrel dogs that we had. That's the bird dog walker. This is the bird dog, tree and walker, and cur dog cross, like what they're using for the competition squirrel dog.
Yeah.
You've seen the female before, that black and white one that you asked me, was it a Parker cur?
Yeah.
I bred him to her. Now I expect them to be some hunting machines there, because I hunted with her brother first as a squirrel dog, and you talk about a dog that could get it done. And so I expecting a lot out of them pups, but we'll see.
That's why you said you just got them weaned now, didn't you?
Yeah, they probably 10, 12 weeks old.
I got you.
They've already had their first 2 shots. So I just put her back on the chain and getting her back in shape, and I'll start back hunting with her.
Nice. And she's a good-looking dog.
Oh yeah, she is, and she's a machine. I mean, as far as hunting, you turn them loose, them things they beat the bushes, and that's all you can ask for is them to beat the bushes and hunt. And she bays good.
Mm-hmm.
She's not rough and all nasty, and they're trying to get killed. So now, that's a good thing.
On the topic of the puppies and stuff, let's go over like how you would work your pups and process of getting them started and introduction and all that. We'll go through that because we've got about, what time is it? We probably got about another 20, 30 minutes or so we need to fill in.
I got you. Yeah. Now so the way I like to start my pups, I know Drew Todd said the same thing the other day whenever he was talking about it. I like to start my puppies on coons.
Yeah.
The reason being, so just like how I was telling you how I have my chain spots out there, where my chain spots are about 3 foot apart from each other, so you can walk in between and what have you. I can also catch me a raccoon, put it in a rolling cage.
Yeah.
And I start my dogs on their own chain spot. I don't like taking them off first and everything else. I want that dog defending his spot.
Gotcha.
So you take the coon, drag it in between the two dogs there, and they'll start barking. It works. The coon, he's not ever going to give his back to anything. He's not going to turn his back. So he's constantly sitting there fighting and spitting at the dog. And it makes a difference. I mean, it's keeping their attention. I know you hear patting them all the time talk about get ahead. They don't want to bayonet back in. They say get the head. The coon's not going to give you his back.
No.
So, and the reason why I like starting them on the chain spots, that's the same way I used to do my game dogs. What are you going to defend more? If I take you out to somebody else's yard, or if I put you in your own spot, you're going to defend your own spot, right?
Yes.
That's where they're comfortable. That's where they feel that's been their spot, their house, their area that they're comfortable in. I do them that way, and I always make sure he's finishing on top. Whenever finish it positive, I may go around the yard 2 or 3 times. The first time they may not even bark at it, or what have you. Whenever you walk with them around, next time you come around, 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, however long it takes you to cover the yard, the next time it seems like they'll actually come on around and start hammering down like they're supposed to. And I may do that 2 or 3 times a week. Just depends on the weather and what I got going on. And then I'll get them started in the pen. Shoot, I'll have them baying the coon inside of my bay pen before I ever show them my hog. That way they're comfortable in there doing their thing. They'll feel good because what they're doing. And then I may slowly show them what a shoat is or what have you. Get them going that way. I do not believe in getting one run over and beat up trial by fire. You'll ruin more than you'll make that.
I agree. Yeah, I've done that. I've had them where I was like, well, this will be just fine, and something bad happens.
Yeah. Well, I hear, just like you was talking about a while ago, you hear people talk about their dogs casting this far, that far. I also hear people talk about they want him doing it by 7 months or 8 months. Man, I got grown dogs to hunt. I don't have to ruin a puppy.
Yep.
I believe in watching the dog watch his ears and watch his tail. When he's sitting there, whatever activity he's doing, you watch his ears and you watch his tail, you'll see how really enthused he is with it. If he just sit there drabbing, droopy with them ears and got that tail tucked, or he don't have that happy tail, he's really not into it. He ain't digging.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to change your approach. Otherwise, you just sit there and force him to try to do it, and you're just going to ruin him. He'll shut down or go ahead and make you want to do something stupid.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of people that like you said, they'll do something stupid right there in that situation.
Oh, yeah. Put him up.
Yeah, just put
him up. Give him put him up, give him a month or 2 and try him again. Like I said, I have grown dogs to hunt. I don't have to try to push a puppy too young. And especially if you're running rough dogs, you better have something that's got some maturity to it. Otherwise, they're going to bite off way more than what they can chew and get wrecked.
Yes.
And they're not able to, mentally, they're not ready for that. They're not mature mentally to handle that kind of wreckage.
And just because one to go in there and grab it, and they might, like you said, wholeheartedly go in there and hammer that son of a bitch, that doesn't mean that, like you said, they're not mentally ready. They might be physically, but they're not mentally. And that leads to
same thing with the dog.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing back when we used to have the dogs. Just because at 9 months old he's hot, he sits there and acts like he wants to try something. You don't put that sucker over there on the alligator just because you think he's ready.
That's right.
You work the dog at his pace, and you start him when he's ready, not just because you're ready.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem when I first started was listening to other people, and and I was like, okay. And I had dogs that at 6 months old, man, they were they were doing a lot, and
Yeah.
then I realized I was
They're doing
like,
it too.
yeah, I was like, man, this is not very good. I'm hurting these dogs,
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like I said, what it is, and it's more out of ego than anything.
Yeah,
A man's ego, a dog can't carry the man's ego now.
no, and like I said,
Yeah.
I just wanted to have. I was impatient. I transitioned from having bulldogs, that were used for something else.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to do this. And so I was listening to these other guys, and some of them would tell me shit, and I was like, well, the man, I really don't make sense. Well, no, that's different. You got to do it like this when you're hunting hog dogs and when you're doing this and that. And it took me about 6 months to realize I was like, no, I got to do something different. And then by the next year, I was pretty much hunting by myself most of the time.
Yeah.
And doing all my dog training and stuff by myself. And within another year, everybody was coming to me to bring their dogs. So I'd work their dogs and show them how to do what they should have already been doing. I just took the game dog stuff and incorporated it. It's all I did.
It helps. You got to have a dog with some drive to it, no doubt. You can work off a dog. He can have half-ass ability. Maybe not the best nose or the best conformation, but if he's got the drive, you can make him into something.
Mm-hmm.
I say that there's people out every day that's way smarter than me, that's way stronger, but you're not going to out hustle me.
There you go.
On work, I'm going to work. I get up every morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm working the dog yard, doing something with my dogs or my hog program here of trapping hogs or doing something every day.
That's what it takes.
It's a hustle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to hustle. It's just like Nate, like you said, making his own food, doing all his thing. I know me and you talked about it before, that Nate, he's out there working dogs on the mill and everything. You can't fake work ethic.
No. I mean,
you cannot fake it.
That's like when the podcast is uploaded on Monday and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and now we got another one on Tuesday and all that. He's up at
Tuesday.
He's up at 4:00 in the morning, 3:00, whatever, uploading these things. Then when he gets done with that, he's at the house, working the dog yard, doing all his chores on the dog yard, and then come down here and open the store. He runs the store, does whatever that needs to be done here. Then after we close, we stay for 2 or 3 hours and record a podcast at least 2 days a week, sometimes more. And then he has to edit that, then upload that. That's not including the couple of days a week that we hunt.
Yep.
And keep in mind, up until just the past 2 months, we were working construction full time as well.
Oh yeah.
So like you said, you can't fake that shit. It's just
you can't fake work it.
I gotta have at least one day a week where I do a good bit of sleeping though. I get to where I can't think. My brain just don't do any computing power at all. I've been so tired.
Yeah, he gets a little tired after 100 hours or so. I'm like, God almighty, boy, come on.
Wait till you get in your 50s, man. Wait till you hit your 50s.
Yeah.
I don't even want to wait. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just trying to do as good as I can right now. Soak it up.
I'll be 52 in October, and shoot, that's nowhere near what I used to could do at 35. But I got more time to do what I need to do now.
There you go.
True.
Being retired, like I said, everything I do is, unless I'm Ubering my dad around for a doctor's appointment or a trip to town or something like that, or spending time with him, I'm pretty much dogging or hogging 24/7.
Yeah, I was going to say that's all you do now. It's something with dogs or hogs, whether it's trapping, guided hunts, thermals, or just hunting in general. So so it's just like one good thing about doing my guided hunts. So I get to meet all kinds of people. I have carried people out from
hell, South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I carried people out from China out on a thermal hunt. But
that's pretty wild.
So carried people out from North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Washington State. I've carried people from all over. Part of them on dog hunts and part of them on the thermal hunts, and you get to meet some interesting people. You get to expose some people that have never ever seen anything like how we do it. Like the thermal guy the other day, that they was actually from China, and carried him out, let him shoot a hog with the thermal and shoot. No, they eat it up. They love it.
I bet they like that shit.
Yeah, but getting to meet different people like that and show them how we do things. And of course, one of the first things they ask you is, "How long you been doing this?"
Yeah.
Hell, before I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Literally been in the woods all my life, and this is all I know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my pastime, my passion. I said, but I retired. This is all I do. So
that's pretty cool, man. I'm glad you get to do that. I mean, like, you put a lot of years in where you worked at, and
oh yeah,
so it's time to do what you really love, so you can enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I've got a great wife that puts up with it. So this week will be 27 years we've been married.
Really?
So,
well, happy anniversary!
Yes. Happy anniversary!
Thank you.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool.
27 years we'll be married this week. So, and like I said, now she's seen I think whenever we got married, I think if I remember right, I had one bulldog then, and Lord knows at the hundreds of dogs I've had since then.
Yeah.
And so she has seen a bunch of dogs come and go that we've hunted with, and my game dogs and everything else.
So she's done.
The only one that she's worried about right now is that bull terrier that's in the bed with her.
Yeah, that's her baby, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah, that brindle white bull terrier of hers. Yes, that thing is her baby. Nice. That dog sleeps in the bed with her. When I get ready to go to bed, I have to go there and tell the mutt to move over. And sometimes she'll slide over, sometimes she'll get on the floor. So
is that a male or female? It's female?
Yeah, it's a female. We got her as a rescue. She was 2 years old.
I couldn't remember. I thought you said it was a female. I think we had talked about it before.
Yeah.
She's
the first time we went up Hickory Crossing, she had her with us up there, and that's where I met you up there.
That's right.
Yep. I'll say this, she's a damn bull terrier.
Yeah.
We had to take her to the vet just to get her toenails trimmed.
Yeah, I love them.
Anxiety.
Yeah, they something else. Ours are pretty cool. I mean, they stay outside, but
yeah,
they're different.
Oh yes, the way they soil, the way they pout, have to do their nose tucks.
Oh yeah,
do their zoomies and all that stuff. Yes, they are. At least this one. That's how this one is.
Yeah.
Now I know through the years y'all actually had bull terriers in the house, right?
Oh yeah. I've had I kept Bo in the house for a pretty good while, and then we put him outside. And he's just in his old years now. He's done went blind, and man, I don't want to do the deal, know, but it's getting to that point.
I got you.
It'll probably be better for him,
When something happens to this one, though, shoot, the vet's done told me when something happens to Carly that, she does not want to be in my shoes.
I can only imagine.
So, like I said, so whenever we got her in 2017, I was still working away from the house. I was 2.5 hours away. And the first or the second week we had her, she was staying with me, and she jumped out the damn truck, broke her back leg. So I had to leave her here with the wife. And that is whenever she become her dog. So, yeah, I said going a half a mile an hour, and she jumped out the truck window and broke her back leg. Which my wife swears up and down, I originally got her to be a hog dog. That dog, there's nothing about that to be a hog dog unless it comes out of a Chewy box. Hey man, she got this thing on that you just talk about cooking the feed. She's got her on that farmer's dog feed.
Yeah.
Where they send it to you about a month and you put it in the freezer, and dog looks good, acts good. So hey, She don't say nothing about how much I spend on any of mine, so I ain't gonna say nothing about what she spends on hers.
I agree. I wouldn't say a damn thing. No.
I'm not. So basically, you know how many I'm feeding. She don't. People ask me all the time, how many dogs you got? God damn, man, you working for my wife or what? I mean, hell, she don't go to my dog yard and count dogs. Why are you asking me how many have I got?
There you go. Oh shit.
And, well, the way you know how I told you all along about my dog yard, I believe if you can house him, feed him, and keep him healthy, that's all it takes. And being able to hunt them and work them. But biggest thing is people get more dogs than they can house, feed, or keep, and keep them healthy with the right medicines and what have you.
And that it gets tough.
Well, it gets tough. It gets expensive.
If you're not prepared, like I said, if you're not prepared or if you don't know how to do it.
Well, if you're not willing to hustle, I'd say that there's ways to make money to have your dog supporting yourself, these hog dogs. I tell you, like I tell people all the time, what's the first thing they would need to do? I said, get you some hog traps.
Yeah.
Get some hog traps first and foremost. Whether if you think you have a market for hogs or not, get you some hog traps. Work on you some properties. People are going to start letting you run traps on their property when you do catch them. I mean, even in y'all situation where you can't haul a hog,
No.
you can still kill him. And now, if you don't know somebody that wants him to put in the freezer,
dog food.
Do what Nate's doing, dog feed.
Yep.
Get real good at skinning hogs. All I can tell you.
That's exactly right. And even in our situation, you can do certain field training methods. So you can train dogs in the field. Now you cannot release the hog, but like I can dispatch a hog with a bulldog and a knife legally. So if I need to train my catch dog or something like that, you ain't got to sweat a whole lot. But just like you were talking about, you can take him and set him in there and let him catch the hog, and then crawl your ass in there and take care of business.
Oh yeah, do your business, and if you're finishing out dogs, let's say you want to go in there and start finishing out catch dogs and selling them that way. There's a hustle to be made if you're willing to work it.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, I refer to it as the hog dog hustle. I'm trapping hogs all the time. I've got a market where I got people that want hogs. So in Georgia, I got a transport permit, so that's not a problem. I get them the hog. They do what they want to do with it, put it in the freezer or whatever, and so I can do it that way. Like I said, do my little guided hunts, my thermals and my dog hunts. Do that. Shoot. The only thing it could make it better is if I was charging somebody to do it, but I wouldn't. I can't charge somebody to catch a hog that I'm gonna let somebody get anyway. Yeah. But
yeah, there's a line. There's got to be a little bit of some morals and standards in there damn where.
Yeah, I ain't taking advantage of nobody. Hey,
no.
But if they willing to let me trap hogs on their property and after deer season or what have you, go run a dog across there from time to time, I'm good with it, brother. You can collect a lot of property that way.
Yes, sir.
Just by volunteering to help them during deer season. And a lot of times they'll let you come in there after deer season and go in there and help wipe out the hogs. Or summertime, a lot of times they'll let you come in there and take care of the hogs prior to them feeding the deer and everything.
Yep. That's right. We get to go to places like that. We got one property we just picked up a few weeks ago, and we can go down there and run dogs, and there's a pretty good population of pigs, and we can go down there and run them during the week. And I mean, it works out. It just until deer season gets here. But I think the other day he and I were talking, and I think he said we were going to be able to. We could hunt during deer season, but it was only on Wednesdays or something. So I was like,
now y'all have that crazy season where y'all can't have a dog in the woods at night, or you can't do this.
Like turkey season. We got a special dog and knife nighttime season. It's a bunch of rigmarole, a bunch. So it's one of those deals where, like, now during the daytime, it's all the time you can hunt. But except turkey season.
Yeah,
So,
on public land.
on public land.
Now
So,
on private land, you're still good to go.
yeah,
But now they just changed that. Either they changed it this past year or the year before last.
before
I
last.
couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Because we were
before
talking
was-
about it and we went and looked and it said public land only or something like
Yeah.
that. Or open permit land or something.
open permit land on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which just means
So,
public land.
so what's crazy in Georgia now? We of course private land or as long as it's not public owned land or WMAs, 24/7 year round you can hunt them. Now it depends on what your little club. If you're hunting club land or what have you, whatever their local operating procedure rules on. But the state of Georgia, like I said, if it's your personal property, what have you, you can hunt 24/7 with a light, whatever, with dog. You can shoot him, you can dog him, you could about napalm him if you wanted to. But now public land WMA is what's crazy. Okay, small game season comes in August 15th, so we can get out there and start squirrel hunting right there with small game. A hog is considered a target of opportunity. If you're small game hunting with a 22, you see a hog, you can shoot him with it.
Yeah.
If you're out there deer hunting during deer season, you got a center fire, you can shoot the hog. Just whatever you happen to have in your hand, if you see a hog, you can do it. But now what's crazy is you cannot run a dog on a WMA on a hog except for the last 2 weeks of May.
Really?
But I could go out there and I can run a squirrel dog all day. I could run a coon dog all night.
Yeah. And if they trash on a hog, or if you see one, you kill him.
It is what it is.
Now, and it's the same thing like that here with us too. If whatever season's in, it's a target opportunity kind of deal. And if you can hunt, like I said, if you squirrel hunting and you run across a hog, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Or if you rabbit hunting or whatever, but
you're not supposed to be specifically targeting them with the dogs or what have
you get caught with a bulldog vested up, you're gonna get it.
Oh no, that's one thing. WMAs in Georgia, you're not allowed to have a bulldog or an Airedale on the property.
Yeah, them Jags do pretty good hides.
Hey, the Jags that's a
squirrel
souped up
dogs.
Yorkie, man.
Squirrel dogs.
That's some damn assault Yorkies or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what Nick Fox calls them, assault Yorkies.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. We come out there and hit some WMAs. I bring my squirrel dogs. I got some of them cur dogs that they do. Yeah. They're legit squirrel dogs now. They'll treat the hell out of a squirrel.
I will tell you this. I know from time to time I hear y'all talking about people and they start talking about dogs, but how much hunt do they have? How much hunt do they have? A bunch of yellow dogs y'all talk about. But some of them don't seem to have a lot of hunt to them or what have you. Y'all listen and follow up with the NSD Squirrel series. I know me and you talked about this, Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Brooks was talking about one the other day. In that episode where you talked to him, he was talking about a best dog he ever had was a mountain cur bred to a Catahoula.
Yep.
He talked about it come from Joey Dennison over there out of Jessup.
Mm-hmm.
Joey is very well known for training squirrel dogs and putting squirrel dogs together, breeding squirrel dogs.
Yeah.
Hook up with some of them guys that are doing that competition squirrel hunting. They have got some dogs that have got some horsepower to them.
Oh yeah, they run them crossbred dogs. They put a little walker in them or something like that.
Yes.
They do pretty good. But
so I bred to one of them Catahoula females. I bred to the high speed Tarzan dog that originally come from Joey that Dave Sullivan's got down there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a mountain cur dog that when I tell you he's an honest dog.
Yeah.
This sucker, you bust him loose if he's got to go 800 yards to a squirrel, but that's where he's barking is where a squirrel is going to be.
Yeah.
And my experience, if a dog will tree a squirrel or tree something in the top of a tree, he'll pay a hog.
Oh yeah.
And
that's why we get tickled. I get my friend Jared. I get all his culls. And now his culls, they're going to go a half a mile to a mile.
Yes.
He doesn't want a dog that's going more. If that dog goes 99 yards, it better have treed.
Yes.
By that time, he does not want no. There's no reason for a dog to go that far when you're squirrel hunting. That's how he is. And everyone that I've had will bay the hell out of a hog, and they are high power dogs.
I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
yes, sir.
After we're doing several walk squirrel hunts, I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There ain't no reason. There's squirrels there. There
Yep.
should be.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, first hunt last year, we almost limited everybody out. We had to leave early, and we didn't hunt 20 acres, 25 acres.
Yeah.
You know. And I know there's some places that aren't as thick as squirrels, but like you're talking about, those mountain curs and Kimmer curs are different.
Yes.
And I've seen some blackmouth curs that have big motors on them, and I've got a couple of them now, but they didn't come from the southeast. I'll put it that way. And
ones I've seen southeast, they don't have that kind of go-to.
No, these right here, I got a couple of, I mean, little puppies at the house right now, 3 months old, and you can't let them loose on the yard.
They'll get gone.
Yeah. They're going to roll out. Their litter mates are already, they left at 5 o'clock on Wednesday or Thursday and didn't get back home till, I think he texted me at like 10:30 that night. The next night now. They had stayed gone the entire time. And he said, well, I guess I'm going to have to do something. I was like, yeah, some bitches going to be gone or get killed or something. And they're just, they're gone, hunting.
Years ago, I had three blackmouth dogs that was all siblings, litter mates. And now you put them out in sign, like fresh sign on the road or what have you, they take it and roll with it. They could damn sure find you a hug. But road hunt, they did not have it. And I talked to the guy where I got it from. He's like, let me tell you how they was trained or the way they're bred and do. They've come out of Lake Okeechobee down there in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got the what they called old Florida cracker, the old cowboys that them still maintain their dogs down there in them flats. They roll up with the horse trailer with the dogs all loaded up in the same trailer and everything. He gets out there on that little horse. These dogs fall in line like little soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
They pull up down these old pig trails and stuff, and he sends these dogs down these trails to go find them old cows in the flats and bring them back in. But now, like he said, you won't even understand what he's telling these things. He sat there talking, sound like some Creole Cajun stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever he's hot, these dogs, and they fall out one by one and go do their thing.
Yep.
But they do not have a whole lot of get ahead type hunt, but they will go in there and track a cow or what have you. So
that's the way we cast
once
our
he
dogs
explained
down the
to me
trail.
how they hunted them, I figured out how to make it work.
Yeah. Well, it like especially Midnight and Sally, Rodney's two dogs. That's the only way that you could get them to until just, I guess, the last year or so. They had to go down a trail. That's it. That's the only way they were going to go.
Now, how's Sally hunting now that Midnight's gone?
Shit, like a machine.
She's still doing it?
Oh shit, man! Like if she hunts the way she did Friday, I mean, she'd be hard to beat. And then not just then, like when we went down to Logan Campbell's. Remember, Nate? Wasn't it? Yeah, that's where it was at. Like she stayed in a race. We had Logan's dogs out there, and they ran for 6 or 7 hours, and she stayed out there for 4.5 or 5 hours, and she's over 10 years old.
Yeah. Now the reason why I ask, I know how.
Carter
was talking about whenever they had Champ and Shrimp, and I thought he said he got Shrimp killed, and he said Champ really never really was the same after that. Of course, then him and Kevin was hunting out there and ended up getting his leg hurt.
Yeah.
And I know some dogs just pair up with others, and
Sally,
almost like they never recover that way.
Sally was Midnight's mama, and to be honest with you, for the past 2 years, Sally just ain't really hunted very good at all. She's just getting old and slower, and just kind of Midnight took over the lead, and she just gives it hell. And I mean, there's been plenty of times where Sally would go out, make one good cast, come back, get in the box, and she's done for the whole day.
Yeah.
And that's fine because she's put in her time.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, like it's like she's 5 years old again. And I don't know how long it's going to last. But I will say this, I'm going to keep dumping dogs with her as long as she'll hang in there, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, and let her try to train. I've been telling Rodney, I was like, look, bud, you got to get some pups. We got to put pups out there. We've been going to these new properties, and it's hard to take young puppies to new places when you're when you're going with landowners and all that.
You got to show them results. They don't want to see you out there having to get on somebody's ass. They want to see results because that way you get to come back again.
All right. So this past
they want to
Friday,
see dead hogs.
Yeah, they want to see dead hogs.
Yeah.
So this past Friday, I realized how lucky we are now with this landowner. We got in a position to catch a bunch of pigs, 4 or 5 pigs real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They wound up getting in the pasture and were in a corral. I don't know why they kept running in there. Like for real, like there was a whole open field. There's cutovers. There's 4,000 acres, but they didn't want to leave right there. So we were running them in a circle, and then we would just basically run them in that corral. And the landowner or the guy that we're going with, he was like, "Hey, go get that young Catahoula of yours." He said, "We need to bring her up here." And I was like, "Well, man, you got." And now keep in mind, we're standing in the middle of 50 head of cows, like standing in the middle of them. I was like, I told him, I said, "John, she's never been around cows like this close." You know, I was like, I was worried about what was going to happen with the cows. And he was like, "Yeah, but man, we can just hold her and can you just hold her and let her look in? Will that help?" I said, "If you don't mind, yeah, I really want to do that."
Absolutely. As long as it's his idea, absolutely.
And he said, "Yeah, go ahead." And like, literally I wish I had already done it because like we caught 1 or 2 from the time he told me that, and I held off. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't think we caught any more. They ran one.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, it's lucky to have somebody like that.
Oh yeah. Somebody that understands what it takes to work a dog that you need.
Well, he's got squirrel dogs. So I think he says he's got 5 or 6 cur dogs that he hunts on, squirrel. I might coon hunt them too. I don't know. But anyway, so it's working out pretty good. He actually messaged me last night and said, "Hey, don't feel obligated or nothing, but I'm off Wednesday and Thursday." I was like, damn.
Twist your arm there.
Yeah, I was like, shit, you ain't obligated, buddy, but I do feel a certain type of way, like I might be sick or something. I want to see if he wants to hunt it at night. Like I want to hunt that place at night. We haven't hunted it at night.
Yeah. You know, that's the way I prefer to hunt. I don't care if it's summertime, wintertime, anything. I want to hunt at night.
Yeah, this place right here, the hogs, what it is, the hogs are coming in at night and they're crossing the river. Dude, it's fucking 20 yards wide at one point or less. Like, and there's a big sandbar that runs out. And there's a trail beat down that bank that's 2 foot deep. Mm-hmm. And then, so we got property on the other side of the river to where they're going. And it's literally just old roads and old green fields and old pastures that is chest high in the thickest shit around. I said, that's what they're doing. They're going over hitting them feeders at night, and then they're coming laying up over here during the mornings in the day, you know.
Laid up in that thick shit, yeah.
And so now I was like, if we could get them at night to where they're out moving around, you know, we could probably catch some over on that big property because the smaller side's only 400 acres. That's the downfall.
I got you. So like this morning, I know I told you I was out moving hog traps first thing this morning by 8 o'clock. But they own a bunch of chicken houses, but they also, chicken houses produce a lot of droppings. So they got a bunch of hay fields over there. Man, the hogs are wearing out their hay fields, hitting around the side from the old nut grass and stuff. Mm-hmm. So then, you know, once a hog roots out your field, you can't drive a tractor across that mess because they just leave all them wallers. So I expect 99.9% sure I'm going to have some hogs in the morning I got to go get out.
I got you.
That's the plan anyway. And
Hell yeah.
so I do that. And I had a guy call me last night from Central Florida. Got to go meet him this coming weekend. Their club got 2,600 acres they eat up with them. So shoot, I got traps here at the house I can go do a quick strike with and help somebody out to catch a hog here and there. And like I said, if somebody wants to get a hog from me, a couple of hogs, they give me a couple of bags of dog feed. It all works out pretty.
Hell yeah.
We make it work.
That's right.
Plus my dogs get to work.
No hog hunting hustle, baby.
Hey, hell yeah. You got to do something to make it work. Being retired, I'm on a fixed income, man. I got to make this work.
That's right. Well,
now, I will say this now, the 2 lights I got from you.
Yeah.
That is the bomb there now.
You like them?
Yeah, I bought 2 of them, one for me and one for whoever else is hunting with me, because half the time somebody get in the truck with you, I ain't got a light or anything here. Yeah. So I keep the same one, and everybody else, if they hunting with me, they don't have a light, they get that one. But now them things are aired. That's the trick, though. I don't know if y'all make them, putting them together, or how y'all doing that?
Yeah, actually the light, we order the light, and the battery pack and all comes together, and then we'll put them together and put them on the hats. If you want them mounted and stuff.
Well, you just got to figure out what way I've done got it worked out with whoever's at the truck. As long as you keep your light on green, everything's good. Mm-hmm. If somebody's you out there walking, somebody else is walking, and the headlight turns red at the truck, that means stay your ass out there.
There you go.
Because you never know who's up there bothering you. Mm-hmm. Which luckily I don't really have a lot of issues with any type of incidents with really other hunters where I hunt at, or any type of people bothering me, man. I cannot complain. I've always been pretty good about never having to slip gates and do all that kind of stuff. I've always had access to property, so it definitely helps. That's one less hassle that I don't have to worry about, is having permission to property or property for permissions.
Yeah,
doing that. So a lot of places you go, the first thing you got to worry about is somebody's done ruined the opportunity because somebody's done cut gates or done something crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm lucky.
Hog hunting's still new around here with dogs, or hog hunting in general is still pretty new. So we haven't had to deal with much of that either ourselves. Yeah. But now further down south, there's a lot of that shit goes on. I've been told before, they're like, we don't want no hog hunters on the property. I'm like,
because somebody ahead of you was a jackass. Either they didn't get permission first, or man told them no and they went and done it anyway.
Yep. That's exactly how it works.
So, but like I said, I'm lucky enough. Have access to pretty good properties, and people call me all the time. And like I said, if I can help them out, and I can still make it worth my gas money and dog feed money, I'll do what I got to do, man.
That's right. Well, with the puppies that you got, and I know you breed, not all the time, but a litter or two here and there, and then you got your trapping, your thermals and stuff like that. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you and inquire about getting dogs or buying a trap, or you coming setting up on their property, you want us to, what information do you want us to put out? Nate can put a link at the bottom in the description.
Yeah, just look me up on
Facebook.
On Facebook.
Just check it.
Nathan Brooks.
Yeah, check out Nathan Brooks on Facebook.
Look at the description down below.
Yep, just do that. Message me if you got any ideas or questions about how to set up a dog yard. Like I said, how to make the bowls that I'm talking about, how to set up the chains, the swivels, how to locate this stuff that you're buying on eBay as opposed to trying to go to a local stores, that kind of stuff. Anything you want to talk about that's dog related or hog hunting related, I'm all down for it.
That's right. So like I said, maybe we can get some of these listeners, they'll, if they need some help with some of this stuff, they'll give you a holler.
Well, I'll throw it out here. I got a lot of experience, and a bunch of it is bought experience that I had to pay for
That's
out
right.
of my pocket. I mean, that's the best experience anyway.
Yep. And I mean, that's the truth. Like I said, it's one of those deals where, like I said, a lot of the old dog guys, they never handed a bunch of shit out. You know, it was, you had to work for it or you had to buy it.
Well, it's just like if you remember a stack of books that I gave you to take to Nate whenever he was interested in putting a dog into a keep or a condition.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good information in them books.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
And that thing about it, that's been working for 50 years. What's in them books?
Mm-hmm.
And from dog men that actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're not feeding kibble and old Roy. That's people that's actually cooking stuff and measuring dog feed by the ounce.
Yep. That's the thing about it too. That's a thing that is so far gone. I'm sure there's some people out there that still do. And if there's any listeners that do that, I mean, if you don't want to get on the air and talk about it, just give me a call. Though I like to talk about that shit, you know, just to see, you know, what your regimen, what you feed, what you know, how you do your stuff. I like to try to learn.
Yeah, you know, I used to have a bunch of them big legal binders. I had slammed full of all that stuff. Different keeps, different conditioning methods. Of course, all kinds of different pedigrees on these things. Breeding practices that you would do, like inbreeding, crossbreeding, all that kind of stuff. I had it all like a big handbook. I don't know where all that stuff is at. I mean, when I decided to get rid of or get out of all them game dogs, when I did that, I got out of it. It was one of them cases of it was in my best interest to go ahead and get out of them kind of dogs.
I understand. I think there's quite a few of us that went through that. It was like, hey, we got to do this now.
Oh yeah. It was one of them situations either.
There's a dumbass football players like, hey, look at me, I'm fucking stupid.
Yep.
So,
and like I said, had a lot of great times and met a lot of great people with them that, I wouldn't go back.
Hell no. Shit no.
Yeah, there's some bad shit now.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you all this. So we went to Jamaica a couple of years ago, and they have mongooses everywhere over there.
Oh.
You know, Jamaica was actually originally like a slave colony where they had the sugar cane over there, and they imported the mongooses to kill the rats.
Yeah.
That was killing off the sugar cane. So when we was out there, we looking out on our little villa where our little pool's at and everything, see these damn mongooses there. My wife's like, what the hell is that? I said, I don't know, but I know what I could do with it if I had a pair of Jags over here.
Yes.
Hey, them little suckers they're only like 4 or 5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like a big weasel. But I bet you could do some pretty work on them over there with some Jags.
You ain't lying.
They and thing about it, they do not have any snakes over there, any lizards, any ground dwelling birds or anything. The mongooses have done so good of a job at getting rid of everything. They got rid of everything, literally.
Yeah, there ain't nothing left.
Yeah, there ain't nothing left on the ground.
Damn.
So
yeah, we don't want no damn mongooses here.
No, I'd just love to take some Jags over there and
we go help
work
them out.
on that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, all right, Nathan, my brother, we got a good two hours or so on this episode in. Is there anything else that you want to add on this one?
No, man.
Or if we need to, if you get some more stuff and a hankering to do some more, then we can always do another episode.
I got you. Have y'all made up your mind if y'all want to come to Broughton Island in a couple of weeks or not?
When is it?
September 20th.
Yeah, 21st, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I can't go that Saturday.
Nate can't go, but I'm thinking seriously about riding out there, even if I don't bring any dogs, but just come hang out. I think Ryan was going to try to bring 12 and for Carter.
Yeah,
because he can't be there, and I think he's going to bring 1 or 2 of his dogs, and I might, me and Kelly might ride out and just hang out.
Y'all give me a holler if y'all want to come, like the day before.
Yeah,
we we may be able to slide off somewhere and try to go get on a hog.
Now we can do that.
Yeah.
I'll
Well, I
talk.
got my buggy set up the other day, so I need to send you a video.
That. I seen that flatbed. That something is nice.
Yes. Oh my, that is.
I need to be kicked back, easing around the field on that thing.
I built that flatbed for it, put that box on there and everything. Man, that is the way to go.
Let me holler at Kelly and see if she wants to go, and if she don't want to go, then I'll see if Rodney's got to work that weekend. If he don't, me and him might load up and come out the day before, and we'll go turn them loose, and then we'll ride over to the bay.
Yeah, it's only going to be where I hunt at. It's only about an hour from my house, and the bay is only like 45 minutes from the house.
Oh yeah, that'd be just right.
Yeah, we can make it work.
Hell yeah!
But y'all just give me a holler and we'll figure it out.
Will do, brother.
All right, man.
All right, Nathan. We appreciate you, my man.
Yeah, man. We'll see y'all.
See you, buddy.
Y'all be careful.
All right,
Nathan.
There's another good dog, man. That's good as gold, y'all. He really is. He really undersold like the nutrition and stuff like that. Like, I mean, he's telling y'all the just what he does, but like he's got all these dogs and they look so damn good. Mm-hmm. And he feeds them for just pennies, like literally pennies. I'll pick at him a little more and get some more information, and we'll spread it around a little bit. So, all right. Well, that damn train's coming again. So this will be another one in the books one more time. And until we see you the next time, I love all y'all mother. Oh, yes, I do. See ya.
Thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.